Hey everybody, it's me, Rahdo. I'm going to be running through Pandemic Legacy Season 0. I won't be alone. Jen is going to be here, but she's having to take care of some last-minute action, exciting items, as is always the case. So she's leaving me hanging. And before we get going, I guess this is, as always, the opportunity to confirm that audio is fine. It looks fine. If anybody could let me know if it's fine, that would be fantastic. In the meantime, I will just assume it's fine. I think I saw some... Nope. Yes, here she comes. Nope. Here she comes.
Yep. Nope.
You're going to get the door?
Yes, I am. I'm going to get it.
All right. So, yes, folks, Pandemic Legacy Season 0 just showed up the other day. Thank you, Bryce. Hi, everybody. Here they come. Here comes the chats. Here comes Jen. It's all coming together. Leva is here. Bruno is here. Zeke is here. Gio is here.
Forgot my glasses.
Tommy is here. And Jen forgot her glasses. So I swear she will be joining us. Awesome. Okay, so the sound is good. Then, here's what we're going to do today, folks. We are going to literally open this sealed copy, pre-production copy of Legacy Season 0. As I understand it, this will not be available until late October. There's a few copies out in the wild. I didn't think I was going to get any at all, but ultimately, Z-Man decided to bestow upon Jen and I 2 copies. Jen and I are already playing the main copy. We've made it through the first 3 levels, and we've got this other one so you guys can get the full experience without having any spoilers, because nobody wants spoilers. So, hey, I wasn't lying. Here's Jen.
Hello, everybody.
And everybody, Jen's got her new summer haircut. She's rocking it. She just got it the other day.
Yep.
She is being very cool and comfortable compared to normal now that she's got all that stuff off her neck.
Airflow.
Yes, exactly. So, and she's still got just the tiniest bit of blue. It is hanging on like nobody's business. She thought it'd be gone by now. Alrighty. So, enough about that. Leva says, Jen! And then adds a smiley face.
Hello.
Hello. Okay.
Hey.
I'll talk about that in a minute. Yep.
Well,
before we get going.
Okay.
Well, I mean, okay, we can do that first if you want.
Okay.
All right, folks. Some business first. So the game comes with actual player markers.
Yeah, but
you may or may not know that my wife is the purveyor of gamerglass.art. She makes gamerglass, and we often play games with her gamerglass instead of whatever boring old components come in the box. That's what we're going to do today. And before we started, Jen's like, which one should we use? I don't know which one should we use. And I'm like, I don't know. Whichever one you want, honey. It's your promotion. She's like, I don't know. And I said, okay, let the audience decide.
Yes.
So, you audience are going to decide. Let's see here. Is my...
Is it going to show up on the blue?
All right, so let's come back over here. And, there we go. So, we've got 2 choices. We've got the freestanding ones. Hey, look at us.
They're Wit-Wit.
Or with a Wit-Wit, or we've got the googly eyes. What are these called, Honey Pie?
Googlies.
These are the googlies. So,
and
folks,
Leva, that's a new purple.
And that's a new shade of purple, folks. So do you want to see googlies walking around saving the world from the spread of Medusa? Or do you want to see aliens, little Witwat, walking around saving the world from the spread of Medusa? You must decide before we have finished the unboxing.
Yes.
Alrighty, so let's
Leva,
go.
can you be in charge of counting votes?
So far there's 2. It looks like it's all googlies all the time, Honey Pie.
Oh, all right.
There is a surge of googlies.
Wow.
Leva's just excited about the new shade of purple.
Well,
all
you can blame her.
Bye-bye, cellophane. Okay, googlies. Yeah, I think Great Googly Moogly
is the one?
Yep.
Okay, very good.
All right.
That's a new green, too. Because I didn't want to leave you out of the old, boring green.
Leva seems to vote for the new purple.
Awesome.
Which is also googly. All right,
Yahoo.
So, hey everybody. Hello, Agent. Thank you for acquiring Pandemic Legacy Season 0. We hope you have as much fun playing it as we had making it. The necessary intel for the mission is as follows. So this is saying, don't open stuff you're not supposed to open, basically. And thank you again. Good luck. This will be a year long remembered by those with proper clearance. You have been called upon to save humanity. You must be up to the task. Okay. So, This is going to be a spoiler-free, so the game comes with these very cool dossiers that must not leave the Strategic Services Office. And basically, if you flip them over, you can see there's all kinds of little flaps that we open up to reveal stickers and new changing stuff. I really like the, it very much looks like a manila envelope kind of thing. And so we've got 3 of those, which I don't believe we'll be opening any today. And we've got the rules, which are available to read online if you want. Should I read the intro?
Yeah.
Folks, do you want me to read the intro?
He is such a good reader.
We'll come back to reading it or not. Let's see. Meanwhile, there is the debrief book. This is basically story snippety stuff. Pandemic Legacy Season 0 introduces a book full of this happened or this happened or this happened kind of stuff. We've only played the first 3 missions. I've been led to believe I've heard. Well, actually, I shouldn't say because nobody wants spoilers. But and that's a few yeses for me actually telling the story. All right. Meanwhile, we'll come back to these stickers in a second. Honey, would you get to punching?
Punch-arific.
Alrighty, we got our action cards. Here's all the stuff we can do. And over the course of the game, there will be a lot more stuff that we will eventually unlock that we can do. So we'll keep these out in case we need them, although I think we know the game pretty well. We've got these little things to keep our intelligence records and our personnel file, which is top secret. You can see it's a thing that can hold stuff for later. We have nothing to put in there right now. Alrighty. We have got an actual game board. Sorry, I'm not going fast enough, Honey Pie. You punched those in record time. Here you go. You can use the knife and get all the pieces out.
Okay.
Because there's only one zip locking and everything else is hermetically sealed.
Hermetically.
Alrighty. So, we have got, now here's the coolest thing by far. The kniffy. For a second. Urgh. So, passports. And these feel like real little tiny passports. They have that same kind of cloth, almost fabric feel to them. Really and you open them up. And this is where you'll keep track of your progress throughout the game for your character throughout all the different months. And, of course, it's blank right now because we have not established our aliases because we are super spies. And we will not be using these in the prologue. These get turned on once you begin Chapter 1 of 12 chapters in January. But these are awesome. One problem, I don't know if you complain about them, they have a tendency, we open them up, and here's my prologue information, where, we ultimately put stickers for our secret powers. They kind of sit like this, because they're like real passports. Mm-hmm. Jen and I have had them open so long now, that now they lay flat, and that's cool. But then, they won't close. Oh.
Paper memory.
Secret agent problems.
Here's the colors that come with.
These are the regular player meeples. Who wants to be those when you could be a googly, right? Or saving the world.
Just an exciting color. Those are very exciting colors.
I'm sure they are very colorblind friendly, and I'm sure that was the primary concern.
All right.
Right, so we will not be any of those colors. Honey, there is more for you to open. We need all of our player cards and our threat cards.
Okay.
Then there is Legacy deck number 1. And number 2, which I don't think has happened before. I think the previous seasons, they only just had 1. So there's a lot more going on. We're not going to be getting into that at all. And I don't believe we will need the operations deck. So I'll just leave these sealed up. These are card equivalents of the stuff you get out of the files and whatnot. Occasionally you are told to go in here, and basically in the top left corner there's a number, and it just says fan through until you find card 62. And then you just pull card 62 out without knowing anything else that's in here. But for now, we don't know anything that's in there. That stuff will appear actually in the storyline, as will that. So those are gone. And of course we have boxes. They are very mysterious. You can rip them open. Of course, you can also just cheat. It's so weird. They seal this end with a little thingy, but you can just go on ahead and open the other side. I won't tell you what's in box number 3, but I could get it out right now if I wanted.
No.
And that's always been the case. I mean, but obviously it's more fun to rip in and all of that. But anyway, so that's what we get. And no, I'm not going to lift the tray, because we haven't... I will lift the tray if the game tells me to lift the tray. I have no idea if there's anything hidden under the tray. All right, so we've got our... So, instead of using those awesome passports, which happened when the real campaign starts, we've got these temporary passports, which are basically our temporary aliases. So bippity skippity, and Jen and I will each have one. These match the same 4 starting powers we can have playing the real game. Let's actually get this board out.
Okay.
Live unboxing.
Woo!
Very cumbersome. All right. I did confirm that the board would fit last night when I was setting up. All right, we need to come back to you guys. Oh, I need that. Anything else under here? All right. So let's see. So there we go. So here is the world. It is 1962. The height of the Cold War. Kennedy and Khrushchev. In a battle for the hearts and minds of humanity, etc., etc. Okay, we have this at the ready in case we need it. So, let's get those. Where'd those awesome? Oh, here they are. So, if you are playing the prologue, which is what we're playing, we just have these temporary aliases. You can play the prologue 100 times. It's a full game, as rich as regular Pandemic. The only difference is the prologue, you only have 4 characters, i.e. 4 special abilities to play. What happens when you start playing the real game is you get your passport, you name yourself, you give yourself an identity. If I say, hey, I'm the old dude, because what is, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 ladies, and 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So there's 4 ladies, 4 dudes, and of varying and sundry skin types. You take all 3 if you want to be this old guy, and you put one of each of those on each, for your 3 potential aliases. Although at the beginning of the game, you're only supposed to set up your first alias, because at some point in the storyline, you'll be given your second and your third alias. But you're not done, because who just wants to be shaved head person? Which is why the game comes with disguises. All the disguises, hairstyles, clothes, facial accoutrement. Should we show them our characters? I don't know if you want to go grab.
Sure.
I don't have to show all the stuff we've unlocked, but I can just show the characters we made.
Yeah.
Because they're just showing the basics. So you can get an idea of what you'll actually do. Basically, you will create your first alias. You will give yourself hairstyles or whatever. Or you could just, look like you just broke out of prison, I suppose. Or the military, I guess. And you will take one of these 4... covers. Are you a medical conference coordinator, a hospital administrator, a research assistant, or a clinic planner? That means that, that's who you tell the world you are, which explains why you are able to do the actions you're doing, when in fact you're actually a secret agent. So, here is my secret agent. Let's see, I don't want to reveal anything about what I've done, but that's me. And I've got the hair on, and I've got Jen, she got a little bit more fancy. Agent Judy. Now that's a secret agent for you, folks.
Yeah.
Jen really got into it. Now, one thing I'll warn you, if you ever get this game, these are the stickiest stickers we have ever stuck. Once you put them on, they are not coming off without ripping up the card. I mean, the adhesion on these is normal. The adhesion on these is crazy. So you better be sure, because there is no second chances.
And also, there's like extra little cuts on them, and it's to fit at the top of the profile picture.
Right, yeah. Because, Jen, she got this, and she went for this beehive, and she thought, oh, I can't get the top of the beehive. That's because the top of the beehive is actually supposed to be cut off by her,
The actual framing of the photo.
So yeah, that actually confused us for a while. She's like, I can't get these. And then we finally, well, I guess we just are supposed to put it on in 2 pieces. And then we took it off and realized, oh, it wouldn't fit in the picture frame.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's why the top of this hairdo and the top and the bottom of this shirt would be cut off if you're using them. So that's just a pro tip for when you guys eventually make your own secret agent aliases. But for now, we're just playing the regular game, so we're doing the temporary aliases. And honey, so do you want to go with the plan?
Yes, the plan.
All right, so Jen and I, the 2 aliases we started, or I should say, I chose to be a medical conference coordinator, and Jen is a research assistant, which means I have this special power in the real game that Jen and I are playing, that we're 3 missions through yet, and Jen has this special power. This one is you can trade cards more easily because you're a research assistant. This is a standard Pandemic pretty bog standard. Jen, if you have this power, you can give stuff or people can take stuff without the normal restrictions of being in the correct city. This one's kind of similar. I think this is the dispatcher. On the dispatcher's turn, instead of spending an action to move themselves, they can move one of their teammates 3 steps. And the interesting thing is, they don't move through stuff, they just skip over stuff. But the other thing is, you can also move teams, which is an entirely new element.
Yep.
So Jen and I, we've been playing these.
Yep.
We haven't played these. So this is the ones we're going to play, so we can have something a little bit new and different. And we're scared, because it means we might not do as well. We really know those other characters very well. They are an unstoppable team. These 2 powers of... Oh, what are they? Getting to build safe houses for free and use safe houses to get around fast. And getting to assemble teams easier. What do you want to be? Do you want to be the team or the safe house person?
A safe house person.
The safe house person. Alrighty. So I can assemble teams more cheaply. You can build safe houses more cheaply. Alright, all this stuff is gone. Alrighty. So I believe they said they did want to hear the story time.
Yes! Well, I think so.
Alright.
I love it when he reads.
Leva was a research assistant in grad school.
Well then.
So then you can role play and actually, name yourself. Alrighty, so here we go. December 1961. An unremarkable job description. Let's give you guys something to look at instead of, hi everybody. An unremarkable job description, graduating medical students needed for government program. You quickly discovered that government program meant the CIA. They believed it easier to teach a doctor how to be a spy than the other way around. And you were quickly swept into months of training at Camp Swampy. Meanwhile, a fanatical research group within the Soviet Union has been developing bioweapons in a bid to end the Cold War and destroy the West. Having failed to weaponize their Coda virus project, they recently made a breakthrough with a different pathogen they call Medusa. Our training has ended. It's time to take to the field. Alrighty. And apparently, I didn't do this. We could have listened. This could all be read to us by professional actors, potentially, if we go to zmangames.com Legacy Hero. But you're just going to have to make do with me, folks. Alrighty. Here's our mission briefing. And you probably want to see who's talking. Alrighty, let's go back to the overhead ski. Alrighty, mission briefing. Welcome, agents. Glad to see you made it through Swampy. I'm your collection management officer, your handler, basically. John Cooper's the name, but you can call me Coop. There's a lot of talk about, and I'm going to dive right in. There's a lot of talk about, I'm going to dive right in. Analytics are telling us that the Reds are cooking up something big, a top-secret plague they call Project Medusa. Now, their research ain't complete yet, and if they manage to weaponize and deploy it, I'm told the death toll could be in the tens of millions. I get it. We're dropping you in the deep end, and your medical training gives you the edge here. And this is what we call a time of great need. Gather intel on the Medusa plague, samples, research notes, whatever you can find. We gotta know what it does, where they're making it, and how they plan to spread it. Got a related job as well. Locate Agent Charles Savick, one of our best. The Reds caught him up in Siberia last year, and sadly, we could not extract him. Good news is he managed to get loose, but he hasn't made contact yet. We gotta find out, did he escape? Or did they let him go? Is he working for the Reds now? Did he learn anything about Medusa while he was inside? Find him. Talk to him. Bring him in if you can. Just be careful. He's ruthless, smart as hell, and twice as dangerous. Last thing I have is a bit of fair warning. The CIA is a peerless organization dedicated to the defense of the country, but a well-oiled machine it is not. There's procedures, committees, meetings, approvals, and a hell of a lot of paperwork, especially for junior agents like yourselves. All that said, don't worry too much about the red tape. Your buddy Coop will keep the worst of it off your back. You just focus on Medusa and Savick. No problem for Swampy's top of 61. Am I right? So that's the setting. Oh, there is one more important thing right here. This is a work of fiction set in a historical period. Names, characters, businesses, places, events, locales, and incidents are either the product of the designer's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. The game board is an abstract representation of the world circa 1962. First and foremost, this is a game, and some concessions were made to provide the best possible gameplay experience. Alrighty, and then it's a rule book. It's a legacy book, which means, hey, we tell you some stuff, but we don't tell you other things because new rules will get unlocked as you play through the campaign. All right, that's the dealio. But we're not done yet because the setup, no matter whether you're playing the prologue or any game is, well, we put our threat marker over here. We shuffle the heck out of this. Have you already done your shuffling?
I did a couple shuffles.
Whee! Alrighty, so we need 3 secret agents, and 2 secret agents, and 1 secret agent in those locations.
Right.
And it says, as part of setup, go into the legacy deck. Now, don't worry, folks. This is not spoilers yet. Everybody doing okay? Everything seems fine. We are still live. Let's just make sure the feed is good. It says excellent condition. And, yep. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Artichoke. So, this is the legacy deck. Read the rules. Page 3 allowed to players. And draw a card during step 1 of setup for the prologue game. So, it's more Coop. Coop is back. Hey, Coop, what do you say? He says, agents, it's time to head out. It's okay to be a little nervous. Every new agent is. This one's pretty straightforward, though. We have intel on a sample of the Medusa plague somewhere in Europe and a sighting of Agent Sabic in Novosibirsk. Actually, I looked up how to pronounce this earlier, and I've already forgotten.
Yeah,
all right. A couple of reminders here before you go. First, try to keep a handle on Soviet agents. But remember that your teams will do a lot of the heavy lifting once you get them set up. Second, don't forget that flying to an allied country is easy. We paid off all the right people. If you need to go somewhere friendly to the Reds, you can do it, but flying won't be easy. So that's a little bit of a reminder, handy dandy from Coop. And now it says, right now, do this. Draw the next 2 cards. These are objectives. Like previous Pandemic Legacies, you are always going to have objectives every time you play, and they go up here. So this is saying, they are your prologue objectives, which means you can play the prologue over and over and over again. Like playing a regular game of Pandemic over and over again with these objectives and our temporary aliases. When you complete or fail an objective, remember to immediately read the debrief in the debrief book. Also remember that the number of cities in each region and each affiliation are shown on the reference. We have a nice little summary right down here. Alrighty, so this objective has an unknown city, and it explains how unknown cities work. We have to retrieve the Project Medusa sample somewhere in Europe. And if we complete, we read this story. If we don't complete it, we read that story. How do we set that up? Well, there's a few steps. Where is it? Okay. Over here. This is all of the card. There's 1 card for every city in the world, or on the board, I should say. There's 5 escalations. These are bad things. These are events. These are good things. And here's some more of those cities. We need to pull out all the Europe cities, Honey Pie. Thank you very much. I should have had you do that earlier. All right, while Jen's doing that, let's set up the other objective, because the other objective, search for Agent Sabic, we know where that is. We have to get a team to Novosibirsk and search and acquire a target there. So far what Jen and I have seen is objectives, you either know where they are, which means you can take one of these little guys, if you want, and put it on the board as a reminder that we need to get a team up here to find Agent Sabic. That was his last known location. But for unknowns, it says, it walks you through all this on the back. In this case, get all 13 Europe cards. Shuffle, 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 never a kerfuffle. This is the shuffling song. Boom, boom. Alrighty. This is the location of the Medusa sample. Nobody knows where it is. The remainder of the cards, unbeknownst to us, will go back into the deck, as will our handy-dandy events. This will get shuffled all to heck and back. So, this game has a tiny bit of clue, or Cluedo built in, because 1 of these cities in this region has the sample. It's that card. The other 12 cards are in that deck. So the longer we play and the more Europe-based cards we find, we can start eliminating potential places that the sample is. And this is a totally new thing for Pandemic. And you'll often have missions where, somewhere in South America or somewhere in the Pacific Rim, and different regions have different numbers of cities, and you will have some information, and you'll find out more information as you go. But if you think you know where it is and you send a team there and it turns out not, well, then you will have failed, and you will read the bad thing as opposed to correctly identifying the place and succeeding. Okay. So, Jen is shuffling some more, and you can't quite see it. There we go. So, Jen is making randomly 5 decks of cards. These are all the cities and all of those 5 events. I'm going to go on ahead and throw in these nasty things. This is bad news. This is an escalation. These are where the world strikes back. There's one of them in each one of those stacks. All right. Oh, so we had one more?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not right. There should have been...
There's
yeah, okay. All right, anyway. So that one, is because this one has more in it.
Should we start?
Yes,
Okay.
it's supposed to be the one on top.
Okay.
All right, so the ones that have less are supposed to be at the bottom.
Okay.
That's weird. I could have sworn we did this before. There was an equal number, but I trust Jen more than I trust me. So we need to shuffle up all of these. And now, folks, here's where a lot of you people will cry foul and say that we're the biggest pandemic cheaters in the universe. And I said to Jen, hey, we don't have to do our little memory aid. And Jen said, no, we're here to have fun. Are we going to?
Yes.
Here's what you do, folks. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take all these, shuffle them up, put them down, and this creates a stack. And in each fifth, in every 20% of the deck, there's one of the bad things. But you don't know when they're coming. It might come early. It might come late. And you're just supposed to stack this deck up, and you always have a sense of dread as if another one of those escalations will come out.
Dread.
However, the rules just say stack these up and make a single deck. We go an extra step. We stack them up like this. Boop! We are, and again, I'm sure some people will say bad form, because what this means is we know when one of those events, we don't know exactly when one of those events is going to come up, but we do have a sense that, oh, you know what? All right, here we go with that here. And here's the top one. Somewhere in here is that first event that we'll see. Once we have seen this first event happen, we know it won't happen until we get to this section of the deck. This is not, strictly speaking, cheating, although it is definitely, at best, stretching the spirit of the rules. Because here's the deal. Jen and I, we're hardcore pandemic players, and we used to just count cards. We could have stacked this up and literally just counted cards. Because there are, in the stack, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 cards in each of these. And we could say, okay, after 6 rounds have passed, we know that the next card is going to come out. And this is the way we used to play. Because we hate memory in games. And while you don't have to memorize this, you are basically working at a deficit. If you're just like, I don't know, it's been a while. I have a feeling that maybe it will happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, folks, chastise us, pillory us, ban us, cancel us, whatever you got to do.
Unfriend us.
Unfriend us. But this is how we do. We just use this as a cheap little easy memory aid, because otherwise we'd always be like, have we played 6 rounds? Have we played 7 rounds
and
yet?
that's just not fun for us.
It's no fun. And I know what we should do is say, well, don't worry about it, and be a little bit more surprised. And nope, we are peak efficiency players. So either we have to count cards, or we just visually count them. So, again, forgive us. Our sins and our trespasses against the great Leacock and Davio, but that's how we do. Let's see, and looking at this a little bit more, I don't want to mess with the camera, but there's San Francisco, and poor Sydney. Oh, Sydney! Oh, I can't fit both of them. Well, I guess I can just bring it down a little bit. There we go. Will that fit?
Well, sort of.
Yeah, that's close enough. Okay, so we got a little bit of Sydney. We can scooch.
Unfortunately, we're going to be concentrating a lot on Europe, so.
Yes, actually, yeah, we are going to spend a lot of time up in Europe. All right, so anyway. I've totally set that up. Hey, but you know what? Forgot the very important step. We got to do it all over again. Because before we put these things in, we have to, so we got to do it all over again. Hey, guess what, folks? This is live. There is no editing here.
So it's because I got going on.
And as you can see, we were going to have our first one literally in the first round. So shuffle that up a little bit more.
We forgot to give our hands to ourselves.
Yes, yeah. Before these go in the decks, we have to get our starting hands, and then these get put in the deck. So Jen started breaking them up into stacks a little bit early. In a 2-player game, each of us starts with 4 cards.
Yep.
Then we will start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 4 for each of us.
Oh, you want to do it?
Yeah.
All right.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Talk to him about something, Honey Pie. How you like your haircut?
I don't want to talk about my haircut. Chickens are doing good. They're starting to molt, so we've got feathers all over the place. I suppose that's, to be expected. And let's see what else. It's going to be hot this weekend. It's
getting hot in here already.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the AC is not on.
Well, I bumped it up to 79.
All right.
Okay. Because it gets too cold in here sometimes. But anyway, we've got the air conditioner on today. It's going to be, I think, 105 or something today.
Yes,
Something
the
like
Pacific
that.
Northwest is under a heat advisory.
Yep. So,
Jen heard about the heat advisory a few days ago and said, it's time for a haircut.
get this off my neck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I know that's hot, but it doesn't really seem that big a deal to me after having lived in Malta for whatever it was, 6 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a hot one. And it's going to get hot in here. Hopefully the AC will turn on eventually.
Do you? I go turn it back to 78.
I'm more worried for you. I can live with heat. You're the one who melts.
Well, I'm dressed
Boop. Alrighty.
fairly well for the heat wave.
Yeah. Leva has no heat. Or no, is a heat wave with no AC. But you're not in a dark room with no windows. How about that? It feels kind of claustrophobic and absorbs and traps all the heat that we generate.
You do have a window. You blacked it out.
Yes, I did black it out. All right, so
Okay.
I am starting with my hand. I've got Jakarta, Toronto, Saigon, and Los Angeles. No European cities in my hand. What about you?
Paris and Rome.
Jen has dismissed Paris. We put a little marker. And Rome. Why have we dismissed Madrid?
I think you must have put it on there.
All right, as an example. So Paris and Rome are not the location.
And there's also not a target on whatever.
Oh,
that is.
no! This is our
that
known.
is.
This is
Oh,
where we
okay.
search for agent. What's his name?
Reddick?
And somewhere in Europe is this sample.
Got
So,
it.
did you get any event cards?
No.
Let's see. Just so folks can see. How about you just put your cards out here like
Okay,
these?
so tell them that this is important.
Oh, I'll tell them.
Oh, will ya?
Oh, I'll tell them.
All right,
All
you
right.
do
You
that.
better believe I'll tell them.
Okay.
Alrighty, so I think I'm going to double check, just make sure I'm not forgetting anything else, since I've already made one big goof. Oh, yeah. How about, oh yeah, these cards. These are the cities that have already been hit. They go into the discard pile,
Yep.
which, by the way, has a mysterious marking. Protocol Crane. What does that mean? You'll find out at some point throughout the storyline when it says, activate Protocol Crane. But obviously, and also over here, we've got Protocol Straw, Protocol Hades, and, what's the other one? Protocol Zephyr, which again, none of these have been activated yet. So, it's just evidence of all the potential legacy stuff that will happen. All right, so let's just make sure we've done everything. We need to have our starting safe house in Washington, D.C. You can see there's a little marker here. That there's always, unlike regular pandemic, we don't start in Atlanta. Now we start in D.C., at Langley, no doubt. Okay, because we are CIA operatives. Alrighty, so we checked the legacy deck. Oh, by the way, I got to go back to the legacy deck because I wasn't finished with that. We got all our board pieces. We added agents to the board. We prepared the player decks. We added the escalation cards. We assembled the player deck. See, I did it. Stack the player decks. You form the player. It doesn't say that you can't stack them accordion style. Choose characters and aliases and begin play. So, where'd the googlies go? Great. Googly moogly. There they are. Ready to save the world. Although we have to randomize who will be the first player.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be the purple googly.
That's me!
Purple googly for the win. We should always keep them pointing this way so they can see the little googlies on the camera. Alrighty. So, and what is this? This was another town card that somehow got thrown off to the side.
Are you sure?
Yes, it was. It's literally, but
Okay.
we shouldn't know what it is. And I've already forgotten what it is. But we'll say it is in the third one because...
Well, I think the bottom two were the...
Yeah, I don't know how that slid off to the side there. That's okay.
Okay.
All right, continuing. Coop's not done, folks. Oh, yeah. One more thing. He's pulling a Columbo.
Oh.
There's been a lot of field agents that get overwhelmed out there, so I usually prepare a couple of notes, just to something to keep you on task. I find it helps, even if some folks around here like to poke fun at Coop's notes. These are the notes, folks. These are the questions we are here to answer. As medical students, fresh out of school with just a couple months of training for field operations, and we are sent out into the lion's den. And what does he give us? He gives us notes.
Yeah.
All right, and then
Some things to think about.
the legacy card says, stop! Stop! Draw this card before you set up the first game in January. So here's the thing. We're effectively playing a game, I guess you can say, in December of 1961 or something like that, because this is the prologue. The first real mission where stickers can happen, where things become permanent, where we get out our passports and create our identities and whatnot, that happens after you played the prologue. Although, I'll be honest, we skipped it. Jen and I looked at it and said, we don't need this prologue. We're expert pandemic players. And we skipped the prologue completely and went directly to mission 1. because we just wanted to get right into the good stuff. And in case you're curious, that works fine. I just looked to make sure there wasn't anything important that would have happened. I assumed we would have won. We'll find out if that's true, because we're about to play for Realsy Reels. But if you want, you could, strictly speaking, skip the prologue and go directly to Chapter 1. But that's it. We are ready to go. We have got our stuff. Jen is hiding her stuff.
No, I'm not.
Well, it went off the bottom of the screen, because you went like that. So people can't see what you got. And you got to show them what you got.
Okay.
Alrighty, and so my power, again, is I can do the assemble team with one fewer card. Normally it costs 5 cards, but I can do it for 4. And you do not need to build, you don't need a card to build a safe house, and you can travel from safe house to safe house by discarding anything.
Yep.
Alrighty. Okay, and we're off. Honey, go.
Okay, well, first of all,
I'm going to get a drink of water.
you didn't talk about building teams.
I plan to.
So the thing is, you need 4 of this icon. It's the allied icon.
Yes, to
this
build.
is the neutral icon.
Yep.
And then we don't have any yet, but there's also a Soviet icon.
Right. What are teams, you might be asking yourself, because aren't we a team? Yes, we are.
We are a team.
But we're not the team that this game cares about.
Team.
This is the team that the game cares about. There are 3 types. There are teams that have an allied cover, a neutral cover, and a Soviet cover. All of these represent teams of CIA agents, much more experienced ones than us, who literally travel around the world cleaning up our messes. Oops.
Yeah, and apparently they can't drive very well.
Yeah. So, in original Pandemic, the whole point of the game is you run around, you fight the spread of literal diseases, while trying to collect cards so you can get a hand of 5 matching cards, go to a research center, and that means you research the disease and you cure it, and you have to cure 4 diseases. In this game, we are running around trying to stop the spread of these Soviet agents who are doing all sorts of things, and will travel, will multiply around the board. And we are trying to collect, normally, a hand of 5 cards to trade in at a safe house to create a team. Now, once you create the team, it's not like Pandemic where, we built a safe house over here in Calcutta. We gave up all the neutral-themed cards, which, again, as Jen was saying, Jakarta is an unaffiliated city. Jakarta is not a member of NATO or, the USSR. It's, they're on the fence. So we would need 5 neutral cards in a neutral location with a safe house to make this. Once we've made these become extra players that can travel around the board, getting rid of agents, and actually complete the objective. Because we're junior agents. We can't complete these objectives. All we do is we build the teams based on the investigation we do that will then lead to the agents. So this is the biggest change about Pandemic. It's still kind of the same, but very different. And my special power is, it's the equivalent, if I were, I think it's the researcher, I forget who, in Pandemic, only needs 4 cards to cure a disease instead of 5. Me, as the hospital administrator, I need 4 cards instead of 5 to make a team. And the quicker we can make the teams, the sooner we can complete these objectives and win. So, Jen wanted to say all that because she notices I've got 3 blue cards. Allied cards. She has 3 blue cards. I need 1 more blue card, and then I could make a blue team at a blue safe house, which we happen to have. So, I imagine you were about to say our first goal should be you or me, or I get you 1. Because you could do it as well. No. You need 5, I need 4.
That's your special power.
So that means we need to rendezvous in Atlanta, Paris, or Rome.
Get your cheat sheet over here so they can see it.
Yes, all right.
No, that cheat sheet. Your alias thing.
Well, I showed it to him. All right.
Okay.
All right. So I think Jen is taking over the run-through, folks. I'm just going to get another drink of water. Go ahead, honey pie.
All right. Well, anyway, my special power is when I can build a safe house, I don't need a city card. Normally, you need the city that you're in to build the safe house. And as an action, while at a safe house, I can discard any city card to move to any city on the board.
Yes. This is a big change. In original Pandemic, as you built the research labs, they became kind of like a transportation network. The players could just move from one research lab to another. That is not the case anymore.
Except for me.
But Jen can spend a card and jump. Because there's another thing. Transportation is more limited. We still have Drive Ferry, which just means we can spend an action. Every player gets 4 actions on their turn to move 1 space. We can, we can do unrecorded flights, which means they're off books. And that means if I'm in Baghdad and I discard the Baghdad card, I can fly anywhere. That is an unrecorded flight. But commercial flights are restricted. We can, like regular Pandemic, we can discard a neutral card to fly to a neutral zone, or to Bombay, or Bogota, or what have you. That's like regular Pandemic. If we want to fly to an allied city, this is what Coop said. He cut through the red tape. All we have to do is show we have the card. Jen could fly to Rome right now, and unlike regular Pandemic, she doesn't have to discard the card. So it's very easy for us to get to allied cities if we've got the cards in hand, and we don't have to burn those cards. But Soviet-backed cities, Soviet allied cities, we can never discard a card. Right, we don't have any, but if I had the card for Peking, I couldn't discard it to fly right there. But if I had the card for Bogota and I was in Bogota, I could discard that to fly wherever I want. So, in some ways, travel is a bit more free-flowing, and in other ways, it is much more restricted.
And then I break all those rules anyway.
You break those rules because once we have multiple safe houses out, you can discard any card and go between safe houses.
Which is what I'm doing.
And normally, you have to discard a card to build a safe house, but Jen does not. When you build a safe house, you do not need a city card.
Yep.
If I needed to build a safe house in Baghdad, I would have to discard the Baghdad card. So, Jen wants to build safe houses. I want her to give me a blue card, which means we got a rendezvous in Rome, Paris, or Atlanta. And
Atlanta's pretty darn close.
Yes, but are you just going to move to Atlanta and then do nothing?
No.
And we also have about to have an incident, not an outbreak, but an incident happen in Pyongyang, Leopoldville, and East Berlin. These are our 3 most dangerous spots because there's a lot of agents there. So that's everything we have to consider. And what are you going to do, Honey Pie?
Well, so what I was thinking about doing...
And herein begins the gameplay. Because later on, I will put a little note in the show notes so after this video is not live saying, hey, just click here if you want to go right to the gameplay. All right, go.
How long was that? That was like 40 minutes?
It was 40 minutes. But it was the box opening and talking about the passports and a lot of stuff.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. I don't mind.
Oh, hopefully they don't mind.
Hey,
they're still here.
By the way, apparently today is National Relaxation Day. So we are going to relax.
We're going to try. I never find live streams to be very relaxing, but we are going to try our best. Alrighty.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give up a card, and I think I'm going to fly over to Moscow because it is a high surveillance city over there. Point at it.
You want to go to Moscow?
I'm thinking so because it's
How?
also right... Because I can discard any
Oh, you're
card.
going to walk to Atlanta?
No. I'm going to fly to Moscow.
Wait, don't you... All right, as an action, a wild safe house. Oh, yeah. So, okay. You're going to discard Rome.
Yep. I'm going to fly to Moscow.
So Jen's first action is she is breaking all the rules, using her safe house contacts to fly to Moscow, which normally she would not be able to do.
Right. I am not going to... For my second action, I'm going to put a safe house there.
Because normally Jen would, in Moscow, would have to discard a Moscow card to build a safe house, but she is building a safe house there.
Yep. Now, do you want to explain the little surveillance things?
Yes. Let's go on ahead and zoom in on Moscow. Different cities have different amounts of Soviet surveillance. If Jen ends her turn, if Jen begins her turn in a city with 1, 2, or 3 surveillance, Jen will get her cover blown 1, 2, or 3 times. Now, in the full game, that means if we look here, this is your alias. You have your cover, you have your special powers and all that. You have these. Every time your cover is blown, you scratch one of these off. Sometimes nothing bad happens. Sometimes very bad things happen. Since we are playing with our temporary aliases, every time our cover is blown in this mode, we just lose a card.
Yeah.
So we have to discard a card from our hand. So Jen does not want to end her turn in Moscow. You have 2 more actions. What are you doing?
A safe house, if you have a safe house, you can stay there and not have your cover blown.
Mm-hmm.
So I've built a safe house.
Oh, yes. Because there is a safe house here, you can a safe house protects you from having your cover blown. Right.
Correct. Now, you cannot make a team unless you've got a safe house in the area. So we know we want to go to Novorossiysk.
Right there, yes. Oh, so I see. So Jen has decided this is where our Soviet safe house is so that we can create, ultimately, a Soviet team right here, because then it's just a little hop, skip, and a jump to come over here and get Agent Savick, which is one of our 2 goals.
Yep.
That is brilliant, Honey Pie.
Thank you.
You have 2 more actions.
Right. So now I'm in a city with a safe house, so I can discard another card.
Right. So you're just burning a card to what?
To come back.
I would say don't. Just fly to Atlanta.
Yeah.
But remember, Atlanta's a friendly city. You don't have to discard anything to fly to Atlanta.
Oh, right. Okay. So I've got
You have two more actions.
I need one more action.
But that means you've got a wasted action.
Okay, well, so before I left,
All right, so Jen's first action before she left Washington, D.C. is she neutralized an agent. And I know there's actually there's a big brouhaha on Board Game Geek about how this game is very culturally insensitive because it's all about us running around the world murdering Russians. But to be fair, the rules never refer to them as Russians. The rules refer to them consistently as enemy Soviet agents, agents of the Soviet Empire, and we never directly kill them. There's nothing in the rules that ever says we are killed. It says they are neutralized. And here's the deal, folks. We literally just graduated medical school. We have like 2 weeks worth of field training. We're going to go out and kill hardened Soviet agents? I don't think so. I think what happened is when Jen stepped, when she neutralized this, we are capable of doing investigation. Jen found out, and she got the agent neutralized because his cover was blown. Yeah. Just like our cover can be blown all the time, Jen blew their cover, they're gone. Maybe they were captured, but probably they weren't killed. Because, yeah, like a fourth-year medical student is going to kill, Russian James Bond. I don't think so. So anyway, so Jen, first she neutralized, then she used her clinic planner to fly to Moscow, then she did this, and now, by just showing in her hand that she has Atlanta, her last action is to fly to Atlanta without giving up the card. That was a thing of beauty, and it's all going to go downhill from there. All right, so Jen has, first of all, you start your turn checking surveillance. There was no surveillance in Washington, D.C. Do 4 actions. Jen's done that. Now, mop up. If there were any vans... and they were in a city, like if we had a neutral van and we had gotten it over here to Delhi, they would automatically neutralize all the agents in Delhi.
They mop them up.
The rule book specifically says they are mopped up, and more to the point, the rule book is a little tongue-in-cheek. It says, the mop up, your teams do what they were sent to do. So again, there is no direct acknowledgement of random Russians government employees being murdered left, right, and center by Americans. And in fact, I would say it makes more sense for our team to go over there and literally capture these enemy agents, et cetera, et cetera. But if you want, you can envision or imagine that we are running around the world murdering people. But the game does not support that. At least, not that we have seen so far. So anyway, we don't have any teams yet, so there is no mop-up. Jen now draws 2 cards, and this could be a problem. Jen got Cover of Darkness, one of the 5 bonus actions she can do whenever she feels like it, and she got Prague. Prague is now off our list. We know Prague is not where the Medusa sample is. And Jen can play this anytime she wants, including on my turn. The only thing you cannot do is interrupt a card that is halfway through being... And Prague. What about Prague?
Oh, just here's a Soviet card.
Yes.
So we have the Allied, the neutral, and the Soviet.
Okay. Oh, you're just showing the outcomes. Okay, so there we go. Jen's turn is over. It is my turn.
We do the threat.
Oh, yes, hi. Yeah, we're not done. Now, draw threat cards. At the beginning of the game, we have 2 threats, so we draw 2 cards, and an agent appears in Kiev, and an agent appears in Khartoum. Okay. Khartoum and Kiev. The game will teach you geography, if nothing else. Although, interestingly, in previous pandemics, they play kind of fast and loose with the locations, but then they always had a little arrow pointing to exactly where it is in the world. They don't have it now. So officially, San Francisco is in the Pacific Northwest, which is A-okay by us. But, yeah, it's really surprising they didn't do that like they've always done in the past. Anyway, minor thing. So, Jen's turn is now over. It is my turn. Check surveillance. No surveillance in Washington, D.C. But if I had started my turn over here in Cairo, I would lose 1 card from my hand because my cover would be blown. So we want to make sure we don't end in those turns. I have 4 actions. My first action will be to go to Atlanta. Second, we will share some intel, I believe. Is that what it's called?
Share intel, yes.
Yes, we will share some intel. And now for my third action, I will huff it back to DC. And for my fourth action, I will spend 4 instead of 5 cards to make our first team. This is a team that can only operate in allied countries because it was made in an allied country with allied country cards. That means this team could come over here to Madrid, but since this is a neutral country, they cannot do any operations there. Now, you could certainly argue there's a big stretch for historical verisimilitude based on the CIA's history. And it's kind of a bummer the rules don't actually talk about that other than just to say, hey, look, we had to take stretches. So yeah, in this world, the CIA only works within their remit. So you have to actually have a safe house in. All right, anyway, so that was it. I did that. Mop up. This team, at the end of my turn, this team says, hey, there's still an agent here. I'll mop him up. So Jen did not need to spend a turn because this guy would have taken care of it eventually anyway. I will now draw 2 cards. And the chances are more likely, but still not, that we would get our incident. So Khartoum gets what? Oh, yeah, no, Khartoum and Bangkok. Neither of those are European, so we did not get any more information.
So if we meet in Bogota, you can do a neutral one.
All right.
Which is just here.
I've drawn my 2 cards, and then more threat grows in Calcutta and Toronto.
Okay, I'll do Toronto.
All right, I will do Calcutta, which is way over there. Thank you.
Okay.
All righty, it is Jen's turn. Check surveillance. Atlanta is not being surveilled.
Right. Well, now...
So what were you saying?
It is important.
Oh, we have... You're right, that's what you're saying. We have 4 Whoozamajigs. Cool.
Neutral cards.
Yeah, so what were you saying?
So it is still important to, not have things happen. Because there is an...
If we do not deal with Pyongyang, Leopoldville... I'm sorry. I'm being rude and interrupting.
No, that's exactly what I wanted you to say. Because we know that there is going to be an incident coming up in either my turn or his turn.
Yeah, and the longer we leave these particular cities unchecked, the greater the danger is that an incident will blow up in them. So right now, we just kind of got lucky, and we had cards that allowed us to get a team almost immediately. That is the equivalent... almost the equivalent in pandemic of curing a disease in the first round. But not, because this guy needs to start traveling around. He's done some mop-up, but we need to get him over where he can do some more good. But now, here's the question. Are we going to continue focusing on just building our teams? Because if you can get me Bogota, but the problem is, and if you can go to Bogota and then build a thing there, and then stay in Bogota, I could visit Bogota and we could build a neutral team down there. But that'd be our whole round, which means we're getting closer and closer to Pyongyang, East Berlin, and Leopoldville exploding with Soviet activity. Mm-hmm. So do we put that on hold, or what do we do? Also, I mean... it would probably be, I don't know, we don't need a safe house in Bogota. It would be better to have a safe house in Karachi or Riyadh or someplace where there's action, because South America is totally quiet.
Yeah.
So it would be better to ultimately meet in Jakarta, Khartoum, or Bangkok, I think, and rendezvous there. Right, Bangkok and Khartoum, which, Africa is a trouble area, and Jakarta, which is over here. So I think maybe if you want to try and focus on getting to Leopoldville, cleaning that out, and then ending up in Khartoum, maybe. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, I know I put that safe house over there in Moscow, but Moscow actually is not at all a threat. No. So I should have put it in East Berlin. I think, because we know East Berlin.
So you are retroactively saying, because you could have flown anywhere and done this and flown back?
Yeah.
You're saying you would have rather done it in East Berlin?
Yeah, and I also removed one agent from East Berlin
instead of the
Washington.
one there. That was a brilliant. So, retroactively...
we're a little loosey-goosey.
We're going to play, we are take back king and queen anyway, but folks, you got to understand, we're playing by the seat of our pants. That first move would not have gone that quickly. IRL, we would have spent 5 to 10 minutes talking about all the things we could do before either of us took a turn. We would have made this decision because Jen realized she was going to have an extra step. So, but, Jen just went with the first thing she saw. But anyway, so.
Yeah, which was, let's work on this.
Step 1, you flew to East Berlin using your thing. Step 2, you built this. Step 3, you took out an agent. And step 4, you flew to Atlanta. My turn was the same.
Yep.
And so now we only have these problems. Right. What are you doing?
Well.
And don't forget, we have Cover of Darkness, which this is the one where you move around and just clear stuff out as you're moving, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
As you drive.
Okay.
So, basically, the only card I can give to you is Bogota.
Well, no, but I'm saying that's if we go to Bogota. I would say we put this on hold. We come over here,
and
maybe
fix those two right now?
and rendezvous in Khartoum.
No, you giving me Khartoum doesn't help me.
That's right.
Yes.
You need to give to me, which is why we need to rendezvous in Bogota.
Yes, but we don't have to do it this turn.
No, we have time. And you know what? I might get... I'm going to draw more cards. I might get my 4th one anyway. So we don't necessarily have to worry about that. I think this is the clear and present danger.
I totally agree. So my first move is to come back here.
1.
Yep.
And then use your special power to fly wherever you want.
I'm going to give up the Paris card.
All right.
And I think I'm going to fly over there.
You sure you don't want to give up the Prague card? Because this Paris card means you can fly to Paris from anywhere without having to give up a card.
Oh, yeah, but I want to start getting these.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're right. We already have a blue team, so that's fair enough. Okay.
It's either over there to Pyongyang or
Leopoldville. Your choice.
I know. Well, you might draw another neutral, and then you can come over here and fix this. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to go over there to Pyongyang.
You're going to Pyongyang.
So that was...
Y-A-N-G. Yang Gang. All right.
So that was 1, 2, and then 3, 4. I'll take those.
You're
clearing those.
neutralizing some agents.
Yep.
Okay, so you're done. There is no mopping up because the team, there's nobody there. You draw 2 cards. And here's the other thing. Jen could have chosen to take out only 1, thereby neutralizing the threat. Because if there's 2, it's bad, but it's not imminent doom. Jen's 4th action could have been, wherever you are in the world, you can have the truck move. So Jen could have cleared that agent out of Toronto.
I think let's do that. Yeah.
All right. So you only cleared 1 agent out, and your 4th agent was you had the team move 1 space, and then at the end of your turn they mopped up Canada. Then you draw 2, uno dos, and here's the escalation.
Okay.
So this is the most dangerous place in the world, and Jen also got her airlift, which you could use right now. Move a pawn to any city or move a team to any city.
Yeah, well, unfortunately,
which is too
our
late.
blue team won't do it.
If you, well, yeah, you're right. The allied team won't work in the neutral country anyway.
Yeah.
So, but you could have used this to, if this is a different place, but it's too late because they've already done their cleanup for the round. So, Jen drew 2 cards. She's got this. You could use these right now, but not to good effect, I don't think.
No.
So, it is time for an escalation. First of all, the level threat increases by 1. This means later on we will start drawing 3 cards every round and eventually 4 cards every round instead of 2. Add agents. We draw from the bottom of the deck, and this is something all Pandemic fans will recognize. Riyadh is now a new hotspot. All right, Riyadh. And now we have the 2 most dangerous places in the world, Riyadh and Leopoldville. Now we intensify. All of these cards go back on top of the deck. Shuffled up. Which means, and then at the end of the turn, like always, we draw a threat. And if we draw Leopoldville or Pyongyang, or not Pyongyang, or Riyadh, there will be an incident. And Jen has just gone off to do something, I assume to change the air conditioner even more, because it's boiling in here. And here's another little cheat we do. This one's less impactful as this one. Because here's the deal. We now know the first escalation has happened. I know for a fact there's not going to be an escalation for the next 2 turns. Because we haven't gotten to the second section. And again, you would know that if you were counting rounds. So we just visualize the idea of counting rounds. So anyway, these all go back. And here's another thing we do. We put these sideways as well. All this is telling us is if we go through all of these cards, we know we'll be getting into fresh cities that have not been hit yet. It's a much less impactful memory aid, but it's just a simple little trick we do. All right, so that was it for Jen, right? Oh, no, except we draw the threat cards. 2 threat cards. Hey, it's Pyongyang!
No.
All right, and
but
the other
that's
one...
where I am, so it's no problem. It was a good choice.
Oh, it is? Oh, yes, this is the one place you went. Phew. Wow.
My eyes are big.
You had 50-50 chances. Yeah, look how terrified the googly is. What am I doing here? I'm a medical student. I didn't sign up for this. Cope! Get me out of here. So there's Pyongyang and Toronto. All right, so Toronto gets 1. So we have time to get to Leopoldville. And the longer we go through this, the more likely Leopoldville is to have an event. Well, now, here's the interesting thing. If, say, one of us, if there had been 3 here, and then the incident happened, I'm not going to go through the particulars of the incident, but an incident would happen, some stuff would happen, and because there was no safe house here, you would have had your cover blown. Even though there's no surveillance, if you're at a place where an incident happens, unless you have a safe house to protect you, you have your cover blown and you would have lost a card.
Okay.
But it didn't matter because you had cleared Pyongyang out, even if you don't know how to pronounce it.
No, well, now it's at 3.
Yes, all right. But yeah, right, you go back to 3. Okay, cool. Okay. My turn. So, I need to get to Leopoldville post-haste. I cannot do Jen's little trick of, hey, I'm at a safe house and I can just fly wherever I want. I got to get there the hard way.
But I can airlift you.
You could.
I think that's probably worth doing.
You're going to do that? Because my other option is I could discard Khartoum to fly directly to Khartoum, and then I'm just 1 step away from the 2 biggest hotspots in the world.
Yeah, but you have to go back and forth.
I got to spend time doing it. But also that means I've got 1 fewer card for creating a neutral team.
Yeah.
So Jen, before, I'm on my way to the airport. I'm getting on and then Jen gives the call.
Yep.
Although we don't have cell phones, so I don't know how she did that. But she says, I'm going to call in an airlift. So she is flying me directly to where?
Leopoldville.
To Leopoldville. So I haven't taken any of my 4 actions yet.
Right. So actually, I could do here, and you can come down this way and get that later, or...
I would say, yeah. I would go that way, actually. Okay. So, Jen, now I have 4 actions. Action number 1, clear out an agent. Now, it's all I have to do. Because now, it's only if you try to put a 4th agent in a zone that incidents happen. So that's 1. 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Problem
Woohoo!
solved, mischief managed. And now, what
also, I could have had you do this, and then you would have taken out 2 more agents.
How often is that going to be? Yeah, I think so. That's a good idea. So Jen flew me over here, and then before I did my 1, 2, 3, 4, Jen also said cover of darkness. This turn, during my turn, remove 1 agent from each city that I drive or ferry to. Which means I'm only taking out 2.
Well, 2's
All right, so Jen played this. So I took out 1, and then I moved here, and because of cover of darkness, 1 of them automatically got taken out. And then I moved here, and because of cover of darkness, 1 of them automatically got taken out. So Jen got 2 extra agents. And the world is safe from the Red Menace once more. Alrighty, so that was it. We forgot this. At the end of your turn...
No. This was Toronto.
Oh, yeah, so at the end of my turn, Toronto is a hotbed of activity. It's a good thing we parked the team up there. They will mop up again. And now I draw 2 cards, and hopefully I get a couple of grays. I get 1 gray.
There you go.
And, no, there I don't go. And then I get Havana, because remember, I have to have a neutral safe house. And I'd have to give up one of these cards.
No, I have to come give you a house.
You need to get down here and build a safe house so that I can make a gray team. All right, so that was it. I've drawn 2 cards, and we still know next round there will be no bad events, but they might start after that. And then we draw our threats. And now we don't care if we get Riyadh or Leopoldville, because mischief has been managed. Warsaw. Boom. Ooh. And Warsaw's getting a little scary. All right, and it is Jen's turn.
All right, well, I can discard Bogota now.
All right, so Jen is going to charter a commercial flight.
No, I'm not.
Why?
I'm going to build a safe house.
In Pyongyang?
Yeah. Because I'm just having a network now of everywhere I can get around.
Oh, wait, okay, you did that order. So your first action is, because Jen is the clinic planner, she's going to plan a clinic.
Yep.
And then, and that does us no particular good.
Excuse me.
Because we didn't need this. We already had a safe house in a Soviet territory.
Yeah.
But still, Jen is doing it anyway.
Right, so I built a safe house for my first action. Mm-hmm. I'm going to discard Bogota and fly to you.
Okay. Well, I'm not in Bogota. Bogota's over here.
I can fly anywhere.
Oh, right. She's discarding anything she wants because that lets her fly anywhere. That's her special power.
Yep.
And you're flying directly to Leopoldville.
Yep. And then for my third action, I'm going to build a safe house here.
Which, again, she can do totally for free.
Hello. And then for my fourth action...
Which means you can now give up your prog card and fly anywhere you want.
Well,
or you could take one of these out, but there's no reason to because I'm about to make a team here that will mop them up.
Yeah.
You could also just start walking.
I don't want to walk.
Well, then you could...
I could fly up to work, but then I'd be under surveillance.
Well, because you're special power, you could discard this and fly wherever you want.
Yeah, I could go to East Berlin and I'd be safe, and then I could do Warsaw next turn.
Here's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
Normally, in the full game,
we
definitely try to... What?
Before I left Pyongyang, I took one of the agents.
You cleared one out?
Yeah.
Okay, so your first action was you did this, then you discarded a card to fly here, then you built that, and then you gave me a card.
Okay, so first of all, I did that. I took the agent. I built the safe house.
Mm-hmm.
I flew to you, and I built another safe house.
Right, okay, there you go. So you're just staying there. Right. So here's the thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
In this game, even if you had decided to burn your last card to fly deep into the heart of the USSR,
yeah,
and you started your next turn with 3 cover, in the regular game we would never want to do that because we would have to scratch off 3 elements of our passport. But in this prologue game, it just means you lose cards. So the cards you drew you would have lost. But basically losing cover is much less scary.
Yeah.
So anyway, but you don't have to. You're staying here.
That's all part of a legacy game.
Yeah, exactly. So you are done. Mop up. Toronto has not flared up again, and that's our only team. Draw 2 cards, and these are our last safe cards in Warsaw and Cairo.
Oh, look at all these nice red cards.
Hey, we could maybe get a red team up and running. Zippity quick. And we have some more threats, which is Washington, D.C. and Prague.
Okay.
Have we seen any more European cards come up?
I don't think so.
Warsaw. Well, we already knew that. No, Warsaw came up. Warsaw is not the location.
Yep, good.
And we already knew Prague wasn't the location, right? Did we miss any? Have we forgotten any? Paris, yeah. Okay, yeah. So, over time, we are narrowing down the potential places. Alrighty, so that was your turn. It is my turn.
Yes.
Yes, my turn. First of all, I check for surveillance. We're safe. Second of all, I will build a neutral team.
Woohoo!
Boom. Okay. Where was I thought there were guys here. It didn't matter.
These guys.
Yes, of course, they're right there. I'm looking right at them. They're just that good. They completely tricked me into thinking they were gone.
And they're red. It's
All
not
right.
like there's a...
So that was 1. And now I've got 3 more turns. And I cannot fly to Havana. I can't just fly anywhere like Jen can. So I think I've outlived my usefulness. Although, no. I could just stay here and say, well, 1 action. Action number 2. Get over there to mop that up. We want to leave these guys here. So they'll mop these guys up. So, and I'm just going to go 3, 4 with some potential. I'm just starting to walk. Mm-hmm. Although, I don't need to. I mean, I might get a card that lets me fly up there. But our safe house is deep in Soviet territory, so who knows if I will or not. So, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, we want to keep him here. We could forget about DC, and this ultimately has to get over here. Because it's likely we need to have a Western team. Because it's likely, well, we now know that the sample is either in a neutral, into a
Allied.
Western, or so it's equally likely that it's a Soviet or it's a
or it
Western.
could be this neutral.
All right. So I guess there's no particular reason to rush this over here. So I've got 2 more actions. I'm just going to start walking, or taking a bus or a ferry, or driving.
Driving.
Right. Anyway, so that's it. Mop up. Automatically clear all of these out. These are effective teams. They do what they were sent to do. Draw 2 cards, and now we might be getting into bad zones because we're into a new section. And there it is, right there, folks. So, bad, we have to deal with it, although Warsaw is really the only problem. But good, because now we know all of these cards are totally safe. Alrighty, so, increase the threat again. Draw a new card. And the new card is Algiers.
Algiers.
Which is right there.
Africa.
All right, we're going to have to go have a team clean that up ASAP.
Well, we can now send the blue guys over.
And, you're right. Yeah, now we have a reason to get them over there. And then escalate.
And hope it's not Warsaw.
And we're still drawing 2 at the moment.
Algiers.
Algiers.
Oh, no!
Well,
okay.
I don't feel bad because it's good, folks. You guys will get to see an incident.
Yep.
And the other one is... Oh, my gosh!
Oh.
Wow! Okay, you're going to get to see some double incidents. I shuffled that. There was no precision. Okay, so first we deal with Algiers.
Okay.
Algiers says, hey, just put a 4th here. We can't put a 4th. So that means we put our first incident. If we run out of incidents, and there are 7 of these little guys, we lose the game. So, this is the equivalent of an outbreak in pandemic. But instead of saying, wherever there's an incident, just make agents appear in all the connected cities, that's not the way it works. Instead, we come back to the draw pile, draw another from the bottom of the deck, and we don't care about Rome. Rome is off the table.
But we know Rome is not one of the things.
No, we don't, because these are our cards.
Oh.
Right. So,
right.
Rome will never have agents appear. But right now, sleeper cells activate. Every single one of these cards has an event, and so a random event is going to happen. In this case, it says place an agent in every city with one or more incident token in Africa. Oh, this is going to be it, folks. So, hey, here's a place in Africa with an incident token. So we need to play another. Boom! It's our second incident, which means we draw another card. And we get another event, which is place an incident in Europe. There are no incidents in Europe, so that chain is over. But we're not done yet, because that was Algiers. Then we draw... Wait, where'd it go? I did draw it.
It must be under Algiers. Over there?
No.
Oh.
I did draw it. I drew Warsaw.
Yeah.
Did I put it back? No. Okay, we need to shuffle
There it
these.
is, right there. Warsaw.
Oh, okay. I put it off to the side there. All right, I'm reshuffling these so we don't know that Washington's coming, because that would be cheating. And then Warsaw. Boom! We get our 3rd of 7 incidents in rapid succession, which leads to another new event. Sleeper cell activates is the most common thing. Place an agent in every city with an instant token in Asia. Ooh. There are none in Asia. So we had some bad luck here. We totally dodged a bullet. Nothing more expanded over there. Now, there are other things that can happen. Like, we might have safe houses destroyed. Or we might be forced to discard cards or other things. But, by far, the most common thing is sleeper cells activate. And that can very often lead to further chain reactions. So that was crazy. The 2 bad things that could have happened. And then a 3rd bad thing happened. Mm-hmm. So we were doing so well. All right, so anyway, and so that was it. I drew my threat cards, and I also have I can do some counterintelligence if I feel like it.
Oh, wait, was that one?
This one, put one card from the threat discard pile into the game end area. So we could take out Warsaw or Algiers, and they will never bother us again. And I think we don't want Algiers to be a pest anymore. So, I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and use this and get Algiers out.
Okay.
Algiers has been, we did some counter-espionage or intelligence. It is never going to go again.
Okay.
And, geez, we should have done that ahead of time. Right, here's the deal. I'm not going to undo this, but the order of events was draw 2 player cards. I drew that counterintelligence and the event. And, you know, I could have used my counterintelligence first. And, because Warsaw was here.
Well,
One of them. Either Algiers or Warsaw was here.
Yeah.
Before we reshuffled these and put these back, I could have taken it out of contention completely. And I should have done that. Algiers was a new one.
Yeah.
Warsaw was here. If I wanted to, I could have taken it out, and none of that would have happened, but we'll live with it.
Okay.
But in real life, we would have said, wait, let's stop.
Stop and think.
Before we do things, let's actually look at what we can do. And we could have avoided a lot of that hardship. But we didn't. All right, so it is your turn, Honey Pie.
Okay, I just like to point out.
Yes, I'm aware. So we need to build we need to get to a Soviet safe house. Or I need to get to a Soviet safe house. Although, here's the deal.
I need 2.
You need 2, or I need 3.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I think we need to see how it develops. So you're up.
Okay.
And don't forget, you can spend actions moving these vans around. And it might be nice for this van to spend 1, 2, 3 to clear that area out.
Yeah, but Algiers is never going to do anything again.
No. Oh, yes, you're right. We did. You're right. Yes. Algiers will... Actually, we could leave these guys there. We know they're totally safe.
But actually, couldn't it explode
Yes,
again?
it could. Because another card might trigger activate, put agents wherever there are instance tokens. So it could happen. It's unlikely, but it could happen.
Okay. Whew.
So... this air conditioner has not turned on this whole time.
I know. I did go turn it down a notch.
I would think you need to turn it down 10 notches, Honey Pie, if you want it to actually activate.
Okay.
But if you're fine, I'm fine.
I'm actually fine at the moment.
Okay.
Are you fine?
I'm fine. I like Malta heat.
You do. He goes out and sits in the car.
Jen, when she keeps the air conditioner on too long and too hard and it feels like an icebox in the house, I sometimes will just go out and sit in the car and just let the heat seep into my bones. Because I'm heat activated, I guess.
Yes, you are. Right. Well, I can give up any card to fly anywhere from here, but I don't really want to give up any of these cards.
Well, then don't.
But I also don't want to walk anywhere.
All right. I think I should take some time looking at what the folks have been saying.
Okay.
But anyway, you need to think about what you're doing.
Anything interesting?
No.
Okay.
Hey, Rahdo, looks like Tom disliked live again and forced 2 people to do the same. Should I hire Herr Flick from the Gestapo to interrogate him? Alex Silver, I don't understand. That is confusing. I wonder if that's a typo. But everybody else gets the joke. Good job, sir. I'm sorry, my head is really here. Alrighty.
Okay, I just moved the vans around.
So what'd you do? So you just spent all 4 of your actions standing
1, 2,
still,
3,
deploying teams.
And then 4. I'm moving neutral guys up.
Right. And now we know we are not going to get hit again for a while.
Yep.
So you've got a forecast and Bombay. All right, so it's my turn. Right. I will have the Khartoum come over there. Clean. Wait, hold on a second. There's like a whole bunch of stuff that happens. Before you drew your cards, we mopped. Then you drew your cards, and then we did some threat, which was Leningrad and Khartoum.
Okay.
Alrighty, Khartoum, but that happened after.
Yeah.
And Leningrad. Okay, so then it's my turn, and I've got 1 card to my name, and I could leave him here so he can mop up, or I can come over there. Why do I have no cards? Did I not draw cards at the end of my last turn? No, I did. And one of them was counterintelligence, so I used right away. That's why I only have 1 card. All right. Well, I need to still very slowly head up to Europe. Have we seen any more Europe cards, by the way? We keep forgetting. Warsaw. No, we already did that one. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for me to do this because the team will take care of it eventually.
Yep.
So, this team might as well get in a position. So I will.
No, I don't think there's any blue threat anywhere.
No. No. Yeah. So.
And Algiers will never get drawn again, so it's likely.
I'll just leave them. I'm just going to start heading north.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, here's the deal. Do we need to meet in Havana? Should I start heading towards Havana?
No.
Because right now it's more likely. I'm saying I got nowhere to go. And I'm on a slow boat to wherever it is.
To nowhere.
So it might as well be Havana to give you this card eventually. While you can just jet set around easy peasy.
We could meet in Cairo. I could give you Cairo.
Right, but it makes no sense to meet in 3 different cities so that you can give me 3 cards as opposed to meet in one city so I can give you 1 card.
Yes.
And you make the final team.
But it's all the way over there.
Yeah, wherever I go is all the way over there where a place I don't need to be. I'm stuck. There is nothing particularly useful for me right now. While we wait for cards to appear.
Warsaw could use some clearing out.
All right, I'm just saying we are not doing our job, but
1, 2.
And that's what I'm saying. It will take my entire turn just to walk up there and do nothing.
Yeah, I know.
But all right, I will.
Well, okay, so because I could fly there.
Quattro.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I could just fly there easily. Pick up the card from you next turn.
That was my point. That's what I was saying.
I'm
just saying I have to pick a place to start very slowly walking because I have no way to get around because I have no cards. And I could very slowly walk up to Warsaw and do nothing, or I could very slowly walk over to Havana and do nothing. It's unfortunate. I'm already walking in the wrong direction because to get to Havana from where I was, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to take me 2 turns to get there.
Yeah. Why did you walk off that way?
Because I just arbitrarily, without thinking about it, decided, well, hey, I'll come over here and clear out Riyadh.
Ah.
But then we got a team, so it didn't matter. So, like I said, I am. Riyadh has a very dark future in our pandemic legacy timeline, but that's not going to happen for another 50 years. Things did not go for Riyadh for us. So I'm saying, I've literally got nothing to do and 4 actions to do it.
Yep.
Because there's no reason for me to move the vans around. There's no reason for me to move. I could save the van the trouble and do 2 actions and save the van 1. Because here's the deal. There are a few ways we can resolve this retrieve. We can wait until we have found all the cards that will eliminate all but 1 European possibility. Because right now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 European possibilities. 6? Oh yes, Leningrad. 6 possibilities. Or we can get, if we get down to where there's only 3 possibilities, and we get our 3 teams on those 3 remaining possibilities, we guaranteed succeed. Or we can say, oh, there's only 3 possibilities, but we only have 2 teams. Put them there, and then try to complete the objective anyway. And fingers crossed, So if we're running out of time and we're desperate, we might take a chance. But I'm literally just stuck with nothing to do. I miss Calvin, who has all kinds of cool special powers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'll just walk slowly up to Warsaw.
Why didn't you go to Prague and take out one of those Pragues?
Does Warsaw have an incident, by the way? Yes, it does. That Warsaw was where this incident happened, yeah. The big issue is, here's the thing.
There's surveillance there. You don't want to hang out in Warsaw.
All right, yeah. So, okay, I'm not going to get hit, so it's totally safe there. Yeah, you're right. But so 1, 2, 3, and move a van?
No, take one out in Prague.
Yeah, okay. All right. That was not an exciting turn. Alrighty, there's 1 mop-up to do.
Yep.
And then I'm going to draw 2 cards, and hopefully they will be of some use. Mexico and Baghdad. Okay, and then we're going to have some more Calcutta.
And you just walk right by
Riyadh.
Baghdad.
Yes. Riyadh and Calcutta, which is over there. There we go. And it's your turn.
Okay.
And so obviously we'll just move the van
First thing
over.
I'll do is move the van.
1 of your 4 actions. Okay.
Yep. Shoot.
So now, if we meet in Baghdad, I could walk back down to Baghdad. So if you end your turn in Baghdad, on next turn, I can give you a 4th card.
Yep.
Or do we wait and see if I continue to draw more of them? Because ultimately, if I get 2 more, I can do it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what I've got 2. So that was my first action. I could fly to Bombay right now by giving up this card.
That's correct.
But I don't
You
need to
can
go to
fly
Bombay.
anywhere
Yeah.
because you're there.
So,
Hello, Kabuki Kid.
I'd like to build some more safe houses. We've got 4 more we could build.
We don't need to. We have all the ones we need.
Well, anywhere that you have to stand, that makes it safe for you to stand.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave here. I'm going to fly up to...
Anywhere you want.
Well, I might as well fly to Warsaw and put a safe house there, and then I can start clearing out Warsaw.
All right. So you've done 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
3.
All right. Mop up. Boom.
Mop.
And draw 2 cards. And you are getting close to your hand size. And neither of those are European cities.
Nope.
And forecast. Which, hey, we're about to draw 2. If you want, we could forecast, but I don't think we need to. I think it's fine. Leopoldville and Toronto.
Okay.
Toronto is back at it. Up to no good.
Yes, indeed.
And having a safe house does not prevent the spread of Soviet agents. All right, so it's my turn. And I'm still pretty much doing nothing nowhere. Right. Although, I could go on ahead, at the very least, and do some good van work.
Yep.
1, 2.
Yep.
And...
No blue threat.
Yes, this is ridiculous.
I mean,
Well, there is all the way back in Toronto.
Yeah.
I could just manually. We need to be trading cards. That is how we win the game. We are not. Another thing, by the way, one action we have available to us, which we have not talked about yet, we can identify the target city rather than waiting until through a clue-like process of elimination to find out exactly where the Medusa sample is. Anytime we want, we can go to a safe house, discard 3 cards that match the region. Not the affiliation, but the region and of the region of this, and just instantly reveal where it is.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
I have 2, but I don't want to discard those because I'm trying to build a red team.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely
and no,
gonna
you
need a red
don't.
team.
Yes, you do have 2 European cards. So if you had a 3rd European card, you could eliminate it to just immediately find out
But we
where
need a red
it is.
team for the...
Right, but you still have 1, and I only need 1 more. So that's something to bear in mind too. If you get another European card, we might say dump it, and we'll focus back on me making it because I'm not probably too far away.
All right.
So that's a possibility as well, and then we don't have to wait. So anyway, so I've done 2 actions so far, I think, which is just move a van.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am going to fight the communist menace.
Why don't you come see me?
And sure, why not? I'll just come up there. I'm at a safe house.
Oh, actually, so I have Prague and Warsaw.
Right. Alternatively, I could go back to Baghdad and give you the Baghdad card.
All right, but we're in Prague, so I could give you this Europe card.
Yeah, all right.
Or not.
I'll stay in Prague, and you can come visit me in Prague and give me a card. But again, I think we're better off using these to just find out where it is so we don't have to wait. So yeah, I'll just come up to Warsaw. It's fine.
Okay.
And then we do mopping. Mop. And no mopping. I draw 2 cards. There's Pacific Rim and South America. I cannot catch a break. And no more European stuff. And we have just entered, I think.
Yeah, the next
set. So bad things can start happening now. And we have Pyongyang and Delhi. And it's your turn.
Well, I guess I better get my bum over to Pyongyang.
Yes, because at the end of your turn, Pyongyang could have an incident.
Yep.
Delhi is the right wire. Oh, which is going to clear out automatically. All right.
Okay. So I'm going to give up a card. I'm going to give up Delhi.
Because you're at a safe house to fly wherever you want.
To Pyongyang.
1.
And clear out one of them. So that's 2.
You could move a van. You can do more work down here, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
I'll 3, 4. Take the other 2 out and be done with it.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Clean up. Boom. And then Dren draws 2 cards. And it's Africa and a holdover from the war. And have you hit your hand size yet? Of 7.
I am now at 7. So
right. This is put a safe house anywhere immediately.
Ah.
You just want to do it right now? Or you don't have to yet. All right. And she didn't draw the bad thing. And East Berlin and Kiev go. Okay. And it is my turn. And I guess I'll go clear out East Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, we're sort of in a holding pattern.
Well, it's because all we have to do. I could have been to Havana by now. I'm just saying.
Okay.
The longer we wait, the longer. If we wait. All right. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alrighty, draw 2. Could be bad. Kiev.
All right, that's another Europe card.
And the Pacific Rim. Kiev is in Europe, so that is one less Soviet space it could be. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Didn't draw anything bad. We draw 2 more cards. Legos. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Laos.
Somebody, how do you pronounce Legos? I've been saying it wrong for years, I'm pretty sure.
Prague.
Laos. Legos and Prague. You just did Prague. Somebody will tell us in 30 seconds. Alrighty. And that was it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and you're up. So.
All right, so now we have 3 Europe cards and loads of red cards.
Yes.
So can you sort that? Havana, Bangkok.
I'm just saying, these are my reds. So
yeah.
you just need to give me 1 red.
Yeah.
In either Warsaw or Prague. So we have to meet in Warsaw or Prague for you to give. No, but you're not going to do that.
Well, okay. So there's this, and we also want reds. So you need.
Yes. Unfortunately, there's
2
no
reds.
I think it's better to get the team going right now.
Okay. Well, that's just giving you.
You need to beat me in Warsaw or Prague. I am currently in East Berlin, unfortunately. So that means we'll have to wait till my turn.
Yep.
Because I just walked out of Warsaw.
Okay.
And obviously, you should probably end in Warsaw so end your turn in Warsaw, and then I'll get the card from you next turn and build the 3rd team.
Okay. Did Calcutta mop?
It must have. Mista.
Must have missed it. Okay. So, and I think these are all Soviet
Thank
ones.
you, Dave.
What did he say?
He said mop up Calcutta. Legos. Sounds like you pronounced it fine. Oh, all right. Legos. All right. Yay!
Okay. Well, I will give up a card and fly somewhere, and I will end my turn in Prague. Or Warsaw, actually, is probably a little bit better because it's connected to all of those.
Well, I mean, I want to get to yes, Warsaw is
better. It could be either one.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But either one is fine. Correct.
And you are in Kiev, as far as giving me a red. But, okay.
Right, so you're going to want to try and you give me 2 reds and I give you 1 red? I mean, there's no point. I mean, once you give...
Yeah, I mean, Cairo. I give you Cairo to finish this. But Cairo's all the way down there.
Yeah. It's fine. I mean, more stuff will come up. More European cards will come up. But the reality, too, is it is now either Leningrad, Istanbul, Madrid, or London. We are going to have 3 teams. We can cover 3 of those 4. We just have to discount 1 more.
Yep. Okay.
Unless it's Leningrad, because then we don't have 2 blue teams.
Right. Well, there's Moscow as well.
Oh, there's Moscow. Oh, I didn't see that. This line is the board.
Deceptive.
Yes. It's actually, it's part of the fold. But I guess, it's part of the fold, but it's actually in the art as well. So this looks like it was a real folded up map. Because, I mean, this is not actually just wear and tear of the fold. They put the fold into the map where the fold is.
Okay, well, I will go ahead and pay this Africa card to fly back to Warsaw, I guess. So that's 1, 2, 3.
Move up.
And I will...
There's no reason not to start moving these guys into position.
Well, it's either going to be Istanbul or London.
Yeah.
So
right,
we'll move him to Rome, so it's between the 2.
Okay, and we got to start moving this guy back too. He's got a long way. He's got a long drive in case it's Madrid. All right, so that was it. 4. We could get hit, and we did not.
Okay.
And we did not get any European cards, and you need to play cards
2,
now
4,
or start discarding.
5. Okay. Well, do we want to do the forecast? There's only 2 that we care about, right?
Well, no, it just means there's new stuff coming.
All right, I'll just put down another thing in somewhere scary. Leningrad.
I mean, the forecast is kind of pointless to do right now.
Leningrad has 2, and it hasn't been ruled out yet.
All right.
2 surveillance.
So you just did that for free. And you're at 7 now?
Yep.
All right. So it's my turn. All right. So, no, you've drawn 2. And we did any mopping up, which there was none this time. And then 2 things. Washington and a brand new city, Karachi.
Okay.
There we go. All righty. And so it is my turn. I'm under surveillance. I would be, except there's a safe house. Am I going to do 4 actions? Yes, I'm going to do 1 action. And then I'm going to do 2 action. And then I'm going to do 3 action. Diddly-doo. And then I'm going to do 4 action and clear out Leningrad.
Cool.
All right. Teams are in position. Then I'm going to draw 2. Or, no. Then I'm going to do mop up.
Mop.
And then we're going to draw 2. And it's East Berlin, which is a European city.
Nice.
So East Berlin is off the menu. Alrighty. And then I drew my 2 cards, and then we're still only at 2 threats: Peking and Tokyo.
Into
Just when you
new
left.
land.
Asia and the Pacific Rim.
Yep.
Your turn.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to move this down
One.
to do some moppage. And actually, I could just move it over there, and let's do that.
What?
1, 2.
We'll do what?
It was in Leningrad. I'm going to move it
Okay,
over
1.
to
So actually, where was it? It was Leningrad?
there. Yeah.
1, 2.
Yep.
And so your third action,
search
we
for
have
President
a
Savick.
team at Novosibirsk. And so this is your third action?
Yeah.
What's your fourth action? Then we'll just do this at the end.
Okay. Well, it was 1, 2. That was 2
It'll be 3 to complete this, but we'll do
3. Oh, right, 3. And then 4 is going to be...
Move another van.
Yeah.
Calcutta's a long ways away. Still got to keep driving.
Yep. I could meet you in Prague.
Don't forget, can't you make a van go anywhere?
No.
No, it's...
That was somebody else.
Jen really likes hiding her cards from the audience.
Sorry. Okay. I think I'll just move the van up.
Right, to Delhi.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and so that was your third action. Your fourth action, we are going to acquire a target. Select and acquire target. There are 2 of them. If you have the active teams in the required cities, you complete it. If not, you fail. This one, we knew what it was. We have a team in Novosibirsk. And so we debrief 214. If we failed, which means if the game ran out of time and we never did it, we would read the bad thing. But instead, we read the debrief. Now, this arguably...
This could be spoilery.
It's not really.
It isn't? Okay.
I am going to read it to you. If I can reach it. And if you don't want to, just cover your ears. Or, obviously, you have a computer. Turn down the volume. But it's really no big deal. Because nothing of importance happens in the prologue. Because by design, the prologue can be played over and over and over again. It's just every time it'll be a different European city and it'll be different order events. So anyway, 214. Alrighty. We picked up traces of Zbirk, but nothing definitive. A few locals indicated that they saw someone matching his description, but the individual was bundled up. You can't determine at the moment why he hasn't come in or made contact. And then there's just like a little tutorial. Sometimes there will be text at the end of a paragraph that gives further instructions. In this case, there's no further instruction. So that's it.
Oh.
So, but the important thing is we have now completed one of the 2 objectives. If we complete the other objective, we win instantly.
Put the star
So we mark
on
that
it.
there. And, all right, so that was it. Jen's turn is over. Is there any mopping? No, there's not. No mopping. She draws 2 cards, and this is very likely going to be a hit. And then you're very likely going to have to give up a card because you're over your hand limit. And there is the hit. And there is Pacific Rim, which is not a
4,
European.
6, 7.
Oh, you're not. Okay. Increased threat. We are now drawing 3 at a time. Things are starting to escalate. Hanoi is the new problem spot.
You're going to have to do it.
2, 3, and we shuffle. Oh, this is a lot. So
Yeah.
the likelihood of Hanoi getting hit, even though we're drawing 3, is pretty low. But here's the deal. No, all right. So it's interesting. It used to be you can interrupt the individual stages of this card in original Pandemic. So before, we finished this card. We've intensified. So the next step is draw threats. And before we draw the threat, if Jen wants,
Sure.
she can do a forecast.
Let's do that.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thereby ensuring that Hanoi will not get hit in case it was one of the next 6. It is not. So it's just a whole bunch of places. And now it's at this point that we would spend the next 15 minutes figuring out the exact order these cards should come in.
Okay. Kiev and Lagos are the 2 scariest.
All right, so you want them later.
Yep. So
All right,
put those
so
down
put them at the bottom.
Yep. And Delhi, East Berlin. Where's Delhi?
Delhi is right there.
Where the van is. Okay. And Riyadh and Calcutta.
So let's do Delhi first because the van can clear it up before he leaves.
Okay.
Alrighty, and East Berlin's no big deal. So okay, we'll do it in this order. And here's another little cheat, folks. We hate memory. We could memorize this order we just created, or we could put them face up because who wants to spend all their time playing a memory game? East Berlin, Delhi, and Calcutta get hit. East Berlin, Delhi, and Calcutta.
South.
Boom. Alrighty, so that was your turn.
Yep.
We completed an objective. It is my turn. And, right.
If we
So,
meet in
it'd be
Prague-
good to just do this Europe thing. East Berlin. I am in East Berlin. If there was somebody visiting me in East Berlin, I could totally give them this card.
You're in
And
Warsaw.
I am no longer in East Berlin. I was in East Berlin for a while.
I have Prague and East Berlin. They're both next. So one of us needs to end up in one of those cities.
How many do you have? You have
Prague and East Berlin.
Well, that's only 2. We need 3.
I know, but so end up in one of those, and I'll either give it to you or take it from you.
Okay.
So
you end up in one of yours. You end up in Prague. Because at the end of my turn, I'm very likely to draw another European city.
Okay.
Speaking of which, have we... Right, okay. Or do we know enough?
There's 5 still remaining.
Is Leningrad and... yeah, okay, so there's still a lot. We still haven't seen a lot of cards. So, best to do this. So, I don't want to go far, and I want to end up in Prague, which is fine. So one of my actions is going to be to move here.
Okay, we know
one
East
of my
Berlin
actions...
and Lagos are going to come up, but those are only 2s.
Yeah.
So we can send the van down if we want to Hanoi.
Yeah, let's do that. So
no, it's that not that one, the other one.
Oh no, it's yeah, you're right. Thank you. So I've spent 1 to move to Prague, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
All right. So is there some cleanup? Bippity boppity.
Mops.
And then I draw 2 cards: Skippity, Dippity, Asia, and South America. I have too many cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think we need a South American card. South America has been no problemo. And then Riyadh, Lagos, and Kiev get hit.
Riyadh, Lagos, and Kiev.
All right.
Oh.
Riyadh, Lagos, and Kiev. All right. So, your turn.
Okay. So,
So you're going to end your turn in
Prague,
or you're going to at some point be in Prague and give me
1,
2,
2,
and hopefully I get another European card soon. Oh, but now I got to discard something else. Again, not really that worried about South America.
Okay. So that was 2, and then I think I will move the van
down by the river.
Well, we need to get it to Kiev, don't we? Well, we need to get everything kind of back.
I mean, this
has
got a long drive back, so
yeah,
you can just go 3, 4.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so you're done. You're drawing 2, and it's the Europe card, Madrid, and our 3rd escalation. All right, so increase threat and add agents. And that's London gets hit.
London?
Right. And London, now is a good time to use that rearrange, because London is very likely to get hit.
We already
Nothing we can do, yep. All right, here we go. 1. East Berlin.
Yep.
Kiev. And London. Of course.
Kiev is
right there. It just got hit.
Okay, so London and Kiev.
Yep, London and Kiev got hit. So Kiev was second. And so Kiev says, sleeper cells in Europe activate.
Oh dear.
So we might lose now.
Yeah, we're going to
All right,
lose.
so this hasn't come here yet.
Okay.
So that means both of these activate, which means we draw 2 more. And then London is still going to happen. So, oh, and this does not go there, it goes there. Alrighty, recognized. Players in Asia or the Pacific Rim each lose 1 cover. We have no players, so that didn't hurt us at all. And sleeper cells activate Pacific Rim. There are no events in the Pacific Rim, so that's no biggie. So we're done. Now, the other one was another incident, hits London. That was crazy bad luck. Boy, it would have been good to be able to rearrange those 6 cards. And sleeper cells in Asia. So there aren't any in Asia. So
wow,
not too bad. Okay.
Does that go in this pile?
Yes, it does. Thank you. Sorry. All right. So that was the end of whose turn? Your turn?
Yeah.
All right, my turn. Right. Hey, how about I move the blue frickin' van up to a blue allied town, so he will mop that up.
That sounds good.
1, 2, and all of a sudden, let's see. Oh, wait, so this has already been hit, right? Or no, East Berlin hasn't been hit, has it? Yes, it has.
And
Kiev has been hit. So in theory, they can't get hit again, and we're not going to see a bad card for a while.
Is Laos?
Laos is also safe. No, it's not. All right.
And we've only got 2 incidents left.
Right. So I think I need to fly to. How can I not have any Africa cards?
You've got nothing.
This is ridiculous. All right. Geez, Louise, this is ridiculous. So I could fly from Prague wherever I want to go. And there goes one of our Europe cards.
Yep, and that whole thing.
Or we could say to heck with it. We can just Legos is going to get hit. We can afford another hit and just get. I need to end in Madrid, so you can hand me this, and then we can just know where it is and just get it done.
Okay.
And race.
All right. So can you? I see. We need to get the red van up
So I've
because
done
it's
one
going to
too.
be one of those. Or
or it's not,
some of
or
these.
it's going to be Istanbul, and it was a waste of time to move it up.
Well. Okay.
So, my other option is just. Well, no. I mean, this is the problem. I can't get there. I can fly. Did I get rid of a Sao Paulo? I bet I did, because I could have just flown there. No, I don't think I did. I gave up some other South Americas. Because if I could have flown there. Right. So, I cannot fly to Africa. I could give up Prague and get here and save this, because this is very likely to get hit. And then we have to wait for more Europe cards. Or we say to hell with it. I mean, I can't get the neutral band down here. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's not going to happen.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What?
To get the neutral band down there.
1, 2, 3. Yes, 4. So I could actually spend my entire turn doing that.
Yeah. Well, you spent 2 to get this up here, but
this one is not going to get hit. So yeah, let's keep them in Rome, and my whole turn is just driving like a mad van. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that team to Legos. All right, so that was it. I'm not using any of my cards. I'm going to have to come out and continuing to hemorrhage cards. And hey, it's a Europe card, so we're done with that. And it's a Riyadh card. Okay, I don't need to go back to Asia. I'm done with those cards.
Well, now we know we don't have to send the van to London.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. All right. So, and I should have mopped up before I drew.
Yep.
And then I've drawn. Nothing bad happened, and we draw 3 cards. Delhi, Calcutta, and Lagos.
Oh, thank goodness.
I mean, we knew it was coming.
Delhi,
Calcutta, and Lagos. And next turn, I will find out exactly where this is by discarding 3 Europe cards. So your turn is cleanup.
Do you need to be in Europe?
I need to be in a safe house in Europe. And I'm 1 step away. So that's going to happen next turn.
Okay.
You just need cleanup.
Yep.
Cleanup. This van is now likely in the wrong place unless we don't need him, in which case it's a waste of time having him move. But you have to wait till my turn to find out.
Yep. So I guess I'll just go next door. So I could do 3 cleanup with this, 1, 2, and then
Sure.
It's either one of those. Have these both gone? Kiev and East Berlin? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and there's some mopping.
Yeah. Mop up. They do what they were sent to do.
Actually, I think instead of this and that, I'll move that because it can do 3.
1, 2, 3? Okay.
No. 2, just 2.
You're getting
I did 2 and 2. Okay.
Yeah. All right, you did 2 and 2. We've done the mop up. You draw your cards. You have too many. There's Pyongyang and Peking. And then you probably have to discard because you're at 7.
2, 4, 6.
And we draw 3 more. Riyadh, Warsaw, and Tokyo.
Okay.
Tokyo, Warsaw, and Riyadh. There we go. Easy peasy. My turn. Yeah. I will walk to a place. 1. Second, I will give up 3 European cards at a European safe house to reveal a secret European operation.
Okay.
All along, it was Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Wow.
So we now know this. That was 1, 2. And unfortunately, 3, 4. If I had 2 more turns, I could get it here and we would win.
Yep.
But that's it. I'm done. I'm not even going to bother. Should I have mopped up? Is there any danger at all? I don't think so. I think we've won. Right? All right. Well, so no, you'll move it over there. No, you need 1, 2, 3 on your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So on my turn, I just need to have him go here, and you go back home. Get an early flight out. All right. So I'm done. I am going to mop, and we're going to mop, and then I'm going to draw 2, and it can't be bad. No problem. It's not Moscow. We already know that. And we draw 3. Karachi, Toronto, and Khartoum. Khartoum and Karachi. They're up to something up there. All right, your turn, Hey. What are you going to do?
I'm going to go...
First of all, check for surveillance.
Okay. Well, I think we're okay.
Which I think we have been forgetting to do. But
3.
1, 2, 3.
And
I
will
4,
do the thing.
You will search for the Medusa sample. We then reveal We have the correct team in the correct location. Medusa sample retrieved. Read entry 160. Which again, folks, if you don't want to hear it, and again, it's just kind of flavor text. Well, this one actually tells you a little bit about functionality, which I think it is interesting. You intercepted the courier and secured the Medusa sample. Before your team could interrogate, the courier took a cyanide pill. Analysis of the Medusa sample reveals it's biological, but nothing we've seen before. Not coda, not smallpox, not anthrax. Take the target city card under the objective and add it to the hand of the player who completed this objective. So Jen gets another card in her hand. And if the game weren't over, that might have been useful or important, but as it is, we just won. Boom!
With two
to spare. Yeah, that was a little uglier than it should have been. But we could have done better.
We could have done
We
better.
really wasted that just to get it out of our hand. And if we had used that card at the right time. All right. So, that, folks, is Pandemic Legacy Season 0. That's my wife, Jen. And I did warn you so you could turn the sound off, JJ.
I'm going to go turn on the air conditioner. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. So, folks, it's at this point that we do some Q&A. And here's what I'm wondering. You guys tell me if you want me to talk about this. Without doing spoilers, or at least, yeah. Well, basically, I could tell you what happens at the end of a regular game. How the legacy stuff works, what you do, how does the world change as you move forward. These are the things that you would discover at the end of a game, but I don't have to. You could also discover it literally by reading the last page of the rule book that walks you through after a game, what do you do. But it's up to you guys if you want that. And apologies if anybody was bothered by that spoiler. That is why I said, turn off your sound. But then I didn't tell you when not to turn off your sound. So I apologize. I did that. It was a long game. This was definitely longer than the first time we played. These two characters, the characters Jen and I have been playing are the other two, which are just swap cards. You can give you can give away a card or have a card taken from you no matter where you are. And the other one was super powerful. Move for an action on your turn. Move one of your teammates, one of the fellow players, or one of the team up to 3 spaces, and that's huge. So basically, I could just always move Jen to me, and we could always give her cards to me. So she was just always off shooting cards to me. We were building stuff, and we were getting the teams where they needed to go instantly. That was a very fast team. This team still won, but it was a little bit slower. All right, so far we've had 1 vote for yes. And in the time it takes me, if I don't see a no by the time it takes me for this, okay, that's 2 for yes. Alrighty. So we go through a few steps here. We check objectives. Because if we had failed, if 2 more events had come out, boom, boom, and we'd run out of time, any objective that we didn't complete, we then have to read the failure, which I won't spoil today. Right, so you have to read the failure. That may or may not have consequences. In the prologue, because there are no consequences for anything, because it's a repeatable level, there are no consequences. But in regular missions, there could be dire consequences if you fail. But here's the interesting thing. In the first few missions, the rules say all the way up until May, I think, there will always be 2 objectives every session for January, February, March, April. And then I think in May, for the first time, we have 3 missions. It even says it. It says it right here. The prologue, January, February, March, and April, all of those have 2 missions. But then in May and for the rest of the game, there are 3 missions. This is important because it is considered a win unless we fail 2 missions. So if Jen and I had only completed 1 of these, and we would failed at the others, it would be an adequate victory. And if we were playing through the campaign, we would move to the next month. Whereas if we fail at 2, then it's a failure and we have to replay the month. Now, if we win all the objectives, which so far Jen and I have done, we've actually found the game to be pretty much as easy as Pandemic Legacy 1. And this didn't change our opinion. And we weren't even playing as well as we could have, and we won this pretty easily. Although some would argue, yeah, you win because you break the spirit of the game by not trying to play memory games. But, yeah, you guys can decide how you feel about that. But anyway, if we totally win, whether it's 2 or 3, we move on to the next. But because we're doing so well, the agency will give us less funding. Which means, in this game we just played, we had 5 cool bonus event cards in the deck that are things you can use anytime. They're very powerful.
I think they all came out, didn't they?
I think we did get them all. Yeah. So we have 5. If our funding is reduced, that means in the subsequent round we have 4, and then 3, and then 2. Because if we keep winning, the game adjusts to become harder by getting rid of event cards. If we have a partial win, because we only did one of the 2 or 2 of the 3 core objectives, we get to move forward, but because we were adequate, they actually increase our funding by 1 because we were doing poorly, and we can get more event cards in the next round. And if we totally fail, which means we have to do the month again, our funding increases by 2, so we get 2 event cards back. So this is the way that Pandemic Legacy has always kind of adjusted itself on the fly. So far, Jen and I are 0-4. We've won all 4 games, and honestly, we weren't ever close to losing. And this is pretty much a repeat of Pandemic Legacy Season 1 so far. And once again, it feels like I just wonder, why didn't they include just an extra, so that they could say to players who are doing really well, hey, here's a 6 escalation card. Make it 6 decks instead of 5. That's how you affect normal pandemic difficulty. I do not understand why they keep doing this, because there are going to be a lot of people like Jen and I who, well, so far anyway, are probably going to breeze through. Maybe things are going to change. We will see.
Yep. And it's not that we're not having fun.
We are having a blast.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, we're not complaining. I know some people will be disappointed that the game doesn't push very hard. Also, as always, Pandemic is much easier as a 2-player game than a 4-player game. So I suspect if we were playing 4 players, we would have a harder time. Although that said, we ultimately did go back and play through Pandemic Legacy Season 1 a second time as a 4-player game with people who didn't want to have any spoilers, so we didn't use any of our advanced knowledge, and so we let them make all the choices so that we couldn't influence things based on what we knew was coming, and we still pretty much breezed through the whole thing. I think
there was a couple.
Yeah, it got a little bit tougher, but not too bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to this. We check the objectives if we won or lost. So there's a big bunch of stuff, whether we are succeeding, adequate, or failing. Then we check cities. Every city, and now here's where the legacy stuff happens. Every city that had 1 or more incidents on it, and as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, we don't, because I put these other examples if we'd lost. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. All of those cities get an extra surveillance sticker put on them, and that means they become more dangerous in the future. It becomes harder to be able to move around because you don't want to end your turns in a town where there's surveillance, because it can hurt you. It could even kill you in the Legacy game. Or not kill you, but it can make you blow your cover and you lose permanently one of your aliases, which could be a problem. So, in this case, we could have done better. We have to make Algiers a city under London a city under surveillance. Kiev will become more dangerous because it'll have 2 surveillance, as will Warsaw. So, over time, the Soviet infiltration continues to spread. Their intelligence operation, because of these incidents, those become more dangerous cities for us in the future. So that happens. Then we check the Legacy deck. The Legacy deck says, draw this card before you play your first January game. So we're not going to do that. I'm not going to tell you what happens. Then we check the in-game area. Any of these cards that were temporarily taken out, they get added back to the big deck. And then we spend our budget, which is we go shopping, which is to say,
we get stuff.
For the number of players, you get that many credits. So in a 2-player game, you get 2 credits. If you successfully complete all the missions, you get a 3rd credit, or a 4th, or a 5th if you're playing a 3 or a 4-player game. And then you spend those credits on goodies, on counter surveillance, eliminating surveillance from cities so they become less dangerous. Permanent safe houses. Because Jen built a safe house here in Pyongyang and Leningrad and Warsaw and Leopoldville, we could make these permanent. Because at the beginning of every game, there's one waiting for us in Washington. There could be ones waiting for us elsewhere. That's expensive. That would cost all 3 of our winning credits. Counter surveillance costs 1. But we can also put stickers in our passports that give us extra cool special powers. Don't look if you don't want to see them. Here's what they are. And they have different costs, etc., etc. So you go shopping, and there's a little bit of rules about how those stickers get applied and whatnot. And then you set up for the next game. And that's Pandemic Legacy Season 0. Phew! Like I said, Jen and I, we have finished January, February, March. We are going to play through the whole thing, and then I'll eventually do some final thoughts because I think this serves as a decent run-through. Like I said, so far we have been loving it. The way our characters have advanced has been very, very cool. We've seen some cool, fun stuff evolve in the game, and even though it is, once again, much easier than it should be as a two-player game, the game should come with an optional 6th escalation card that players can add if they want to because they feel it's not. Now, here's the deal. You could do this anyway. Here's what you could do. If you're an expert Pandemic player and you want to be challenged, here's what you do. And this is something you could have done in regular Pandemic Season 1 as well. It boggles my mind that players have to do this when all they had to do was include an extra card. Where are the other ones? Oh, they're over there, because these are 3. So as part of setup, here's what you do. You get your deck, you have your events in it, whatever.
You draw your cards for yourselves first.
You draw your cards for yourself. Here's Jen's starting hand of 4. Here's my starting hand of 4. And now, when you're setting up, don't make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piles that you're filling up. Fill up 6. 6. And then I'm just going to do it really quick. 50, 50, 50. So, the deck is divided into 6th. Make the first 5 decks.
Yeah.
It's crazy we have to do this, but make the first 5 decks. Make this your draw pile. Keep this off to the side. And then, as soon as you have your first incident, I mean, this is obvious. Your first escalation, don't just discard it. Take it, put it in the 6th, shuffle that up, and put it at the bottom. And you are now playing regular Pandemic rules, hard difficulty instead of standard difficulty. I'm not saying Jen and I were not going to do that. Jen likes winning. Would you be interested in increasing, based on what we played so far?
I think I would, actually.
Seriously?
Yeah, let's do
That is shocking, folks. Because Jen likes winning. She hates losing co-ops. So I figured you would just say, let's just keep it easy breezy.
I'm willing to go a month with 6. Let's give it a try.
All right. Well, there's a homebrew variant that was originally written up by Sean McCarthy, one of the co-designers of Shadowrun Crossfire, one of the hardest cooperative games of all time.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it was Sean who posted on Board Game Geek, well, here's a way you can make it harder, because that's what he and his group did. Because, hey, if you made Shadowrun Crossfire, you want a hard co-op. And Pandemic Legacy is not a hard co-op. It still seems to not be. They're continuing that legacy. So, that's a little bit of info. In all of this time, have there been any questions? Because if not, this will be the shortest Q&A section ever. Let's just go on ahead and bust this out and make it bigger. Where's the pop-out? Pop-out chat. Pop-out chat. Full screen chat. You're thinking about it. And then make the text big, big, big. All right. So I'm just going to go up. Is it safe to listen again? I'm somebody's old Kabuki kid. All righty. Do you have a favorite combination of characters you like to play with? Well, obviously we only have in this game you make the characters. Who's your favorite character in regular Pandemic, Honey Pie?
I think I like the one that can easily give and take cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I would thought for sure you were going to say the medic, because you just like being the human vacuum cleaner.
No, that's true. That's good too.
My favorite has always been dispatching. I love sacrificing my turns to help other people be heroes. That's just me. I always play a cleric. I always play support. So I guess you'd have some. Those two are a terrible combination. Well, no. That's basically what we're playing. I can maneuver you, and you can give away cards really easy. So that's what we're playing. Alrighty. Have you seen the original Birdcage? We saw the Robin Williams, Nathan Lane Birdcage, but no, we've never seen the original Birdcage. I'm sure that's because I'm going backwards on questions. All right, that's people talking amongst themselves. And I've gone a ways, and I don't see any more question marks, so this Q&A might be Q and over. Or no, A and O. Instead of a Q&A, it's an A and O. Okay, we scroll back down. First impressions. Are you enjoying the gameplay, the theme? Yes. I mean, I think we just talked about that. Mm-hmm. What do you think of the theme? The Cold
different.
War?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a Cold War kind of... I don't read books about that, and I don't watch movies about that. It's not my favorite thing, but I think that this game is great. It was a little bit slow when that's kind of final thoughts, though, isn't it?
Well, no, it's thoughts at the moment.
Okay, well, my first
After our first game,
month.
you thought, I don't know.
It was a little slow, but
Yeah.
then I started getting.
That is one thing. It's definitely, I think. Oh, sorry, but then
Oh well, I started getting. We spent some of our
credits and we got more
credits.
powerful.
Yeah, and
Here's
then
the
that
thing.
helped.
I would definitely say, I mean, too early to say, but it feels like, and so far, an average game of Pandemic Legacy Season 0 is longer than an average game of Pandemic. Just in general.
Okay.
Because Pandemic is over once you make
The cures.
the teams,
Yeah.
or the cures. Here, you make the cures, but then you gotta drive the cures all over the place and deliver the cures, but you don't even know where the cure has to be delivered, so you have to spend time finding out how to deliver the cure wherever it is,
Yeah.
or the team. So, and in the first game we played, and this game was definitely, although this was a slower game too, because we were talking to you, but it was also a quicker game because we weren't thinking as much as we would.
Yeah.
So, but it feels like it's a bit longer, but as soon as we started buying, as soon as Jen bought, should we say what your first purchase was? And you love it so much?
I do.
Jen loves her gadget, and that really started picking up the pace. Alrighty. And Cold War theme, you could take it or leave it, you said, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's see. I think it's great. I love, I basically, that's the concept. Cures create mobile treatment units that you have to drive around spending your resources. It's particularly meaningful for us, I think, because we only play 2-player. And so it's only ever us. Now there are these other characters who are moving around the world and we can control. And and so it kind of more emulates a 4-player game. I really like that. I think that is a really cool idea.
Well, and this is nice because they're easy to control, and it's not having a whole nother character that you have to.
Yeah, they don't have special powers. Or they don't have a hand of cards.
Yeah.
They're just very powerful characters who do one thing, and we have to spend our time moving them. But I mean, that there's often inevitably during Pandemic moments where like, I just got nothing to do. Well, move one of the teams then. Get them closer to their objective. I mean, so that's actually a really great improvement. I am a little bummed. I would like the game to be a bit slower. I still don't understand why they don't recognize they're making the games too easy, at least for lower player counts. And I love the theme. I love the James Bond, Goldfinger, spy versus spy, Maxwell Smart type stuff. The game definitely has tongue-in-cheek. It's not really, at least so far, taking itself very seriously. And we know that because we have unlocked some other stuff. And there is definitely some not quite get smart gizmo spy gadgets, but there are definitely things along those lines. And Coop is just a good old, yee-haw, how y'all doing type. And there was something else that was very silly. I can't remember what it was now, which I wouldn't say even though I could remember. But there was, it seems like this is very lighthearted, not quite tongue-in-cheek. But that's a very big change. I mean, Pandemic Season 1 is super dark, especially if you were to play it in the world we're living in today. But even still, when we played it 5 years ago or whatever it was, it was harrowing at times. And Pandemic Legacy Season 2, I guess that was a bit more adventurous. That was the, 200 years in the future, Waterworld stuff, where we had all the face. Yeah. So this one, like I said, this feels more like almost like an Eldritch horror without the horror. And this is a James Bondian spy. Here's the thing. We like to play music when we're playing. I am playing, if you go to, what's it? Mellodice.org, and you and you can type in the name of a game and it'll make a playlist for you. We've been playing Spyfall and Agents of Smersh, and all the music fits perfectly. So yeah, I mean, this feels more like Man vs. Uncle, or early original TV series Mission Impossible type stuff, and I think that's cool. I kind of would have liked it to be really dark, but I still like it as it is. All right, that was a long answer.
I wonder if they made changes to the design when they
what?
realized that there is an actual pandemic.
Well, they couldn't have. No, I mean, this game was done in 2019. And then it was, months and months and months of production.
Oh.
So they kind of dodged a bullet. Because everybody was wondering, well, how are you going to have the world being torn apart by a pandemic when we all live in one? And well, actually, it's set in the 50s, and it's spy versus spy stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Is there any thoughts on where this version will land on the pandemic scale?
I'm not very good at scaling things.
I don't think it's. I don't think. I mean, for me, I don't think it can be because of the tongue-in-cheek nature. I think at the end of the day, Pandemic Legacy Season 1, there was the novelty of it.
And it great.
Yeah, and we played all the way through
Really
twice, and it was
good.
great the second time.
Yeah.
So I think though this so far from what we've seen is better than season 2. Because season 2, well, you can go watch my final thoughts for that. They're spoiler free, and I talked at great length about the good and the bad of that. So I'm pretty sure this is probably going to come in between the 3. But who knows? I mean, we're very early, so it might change. Is it only possible to play the prologue as multiple? You could play the prologue, what you just saw us do. You could play this 100 times. You could play this and never ever open a single envelope or box or anything.
I think he's saying, is it only the prologue?
Is playable. Oh, you're right. You did put the word only in there. We can't say for sure. Supposedly, once you have finished the campaign, you're done. You can't play it at all anymore. I would bet money that's not true, but I won't be able to confirm or deny until we've finished it ourselves. Because we have played Pandemically, our Season 1 Pandemic, even though the storyline is finished. Because after the game is over, you just have a customized version of Pandemic.
You've got...
I suspect once this is over, we will have a customized version of this world that we could play again. But I can't confirm. That was definitely true for Season 1. We'll see if that's true. It was not true for Season 0. Season 0 was truly unplayable. Season 2 was truly unplayable. Season 0, we'll see. I think you're right. That was the real question. People were being polite and not interrupting with questions. That's very polite. But I couldn't hear them, so they could have said anything they wanted. All right. Oh, and then the stupid jump. Alrighty. What is my favorite? What is, honey, do you have a favorite spy, TV show, or movie?
What's your impression on this theme?
Oh, yes, you're right. Oh, the question. Yeah. What is the impression of this theme and the threat of communism versus disease? As I mentioned right up front, I mentioned to you the other day when we were playing, a lot of people are very upset.
With the communism thing.
They're not the communism thing. The fact that we are running around the world killing Russian people. And, the headline is, Russians are a disease.
Oh.
Because thematically, all that's happened is we're replacing disease cubes with Russian agents. And instead of curing disease, we are killing Russians. That is what people are saying. It's not true. As of May, we have played the first 3 levels. I don't feel we have killed anybody. And you could say these are Wetworks teams running around murdering people, but there's no in-game evidence of that whatsoever. And honestly, how are medical students going to run around and kill hardened Soviet agents? It just makes no sense. We were hired to investigate. When we come over here to neutralize an agent, that means in Toronto, we were investigating what's happening. We figured out who he was. We revealed him, like Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, and they are off the board. That's what's happening thematically. But the game lets you decide if you want to feel that you are a bloodthirsty agent. You're totally fine to feel that way if you want. Would you prefer to play a game where you are fighting disease as opposed to stopping the Red Menace?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, disease is a thing, whereas Russians are people. So I guess I can understand that objection.
Apparently the big thing is the Russian board game company that has translated every version of Pandemic up until now said we're not going to translate this because we don't like the theme. Because we don't like a game where the Russians are the bad guys. Yep. And hey, more power to them. Honestly, I can say with 100% assuredness, but this is just for me, so I don't blame anybody for feeling the way, that if we were playing Soviet agents in this game, and we were told right from the get-go that, those damn Westerners, they are developing a Medusa virus. And it's up to you to travel all over the world and stop them wherever you can and stop their spread, for the glory of Mother Russia, I would be 100% fine with that. That would not bother me in the slightest. But that's easy for me to say because, I'm not marginalized. I mean, the West is the predominant cultural power in the world. So it's easy for us to say, oh, well, look, we can be the bigger person. I could totally understand why if I were a Russian fan of Pandemic, like, what? I have to be the bad guy? I don't want to be the bad guy. Why couldn't this have been the Russians are the heroes? The Russians never get to be the heroes. I think that's a really interesting idea. And in all honesty, having said that now, I am evolving on this. I think it's a huge missed opportunity that we are not playing as Russian agents. That this whole game should have been set from the KGB perspective against the evil CIA. I would have much rather seen that. Honestly, that just would have been a lot cooler.
Yes, there's such an anti-Russian sentiment going on right now, though,
Yes.
unfortunately. So I don't think that was even a possibility at this time.
That's a good point. That's true too.
In our real life history.
That's true. So, would you rather prefer, if you could have convinced them to, hey, make it about disease in the 50s as opposed to spies in the 50s?
Well,
Answer Sebastian's question.
Like I said, disease is not a personalized thing, whereas a country.
Well, for a lot of people,
affiliation
it's
is.
very personalized right now.
Well, I know, but we are at a very strange time in history of what is people are thinking.
All right. So you're going to stay on that fence.
Seems like
I like the change. I would have preferred a heavier, darker version of this. And having thought about it a bit now, I would have preferred this be KGB-centric instead of CIA-centric. That would have been much more exciting and cool. But I really like it as it is. And Jen, you are on the fence. You're just happy to play more Pandemic. However you did it.
Yes.
Alrighty. Honey, what is your favorite spy TV show or movie? And/or movie?
Oh, so many. The first one that popped into my head was the Remember the Girl?
Alias.
Yes, thank you.
With Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
That's a good answer.
Thank you.
You're going to stick with that? That's
Yes.
a good one. It's the first one came in your head. That's a great one. Alias was, except for like the last couple seasons, maybe. They should have quit while they were ahead. Because they, for a long time, were way ahead.
Yeah.
That's a good one. My favorite TV show of all time has to be Riley, Ace of Spies, which was, I saw it on PBS. I'm sure it was a British production. And it was actually the true story of a real-life spy in... I saw it when I was like 12. I barely remember it now, but it was so impactful for me at the time. It starred Sam Neill, a very young Sam Neill, as I believe he was a British agent, based on a true history, brilliant British agent who was working, I think, in this time frame. So I really loved that as a kid. And of course, who doesn't love James Bond? I mean, do you not love James Bond?
Of course.
And who doesn't love, The Bourne Identity and Mission Impossible and Hannah and I mean they're all great. I love espionage thrillers. I mean, who doesn't love 3 Days of the Condor? I mean, they're all fantastic. But you asked me, the first one that pops in my head is Riley, Ace of Spies. I mean, I love the miniseries so much I went and read the book too. Alrighty. Oh, I love Gorky Park. Although I guess that's less espionage and that's more police procedural. But Gorky Park, man, that was awesome. As a book. I don't remember the movie, but I really love the book. Alrighty. Any differences? Well, I talked about the differences between this and regular Pandemic. Alrighty. Moving on. Thinking of doing one legacy Pandemic with my life. Honey, Drake is trying to decide, should he play this or season 1 with his wife? They're experienced. Or no. They're experienced players, but only light Pandemic experience.
This does seem a little easier to me.
Well, we're very early, though.
We're very early, but, I mean, it's building. Like
this is more complex. In Pandemic, you just cure the disease and it's over. You don't cure the disease and then drive the cure halfway around the world and fight more stuff with it.
Yeah, but that's not that.
It's more. There are more rules. I would imagine the rule book for this is longer than the rule book for Pandemic, just because there are extra steps you have to do.
Okay.
And also, you always know where you're going in Pandemic.
Yeah.
Here, you have this whole extra clue game of deciding, well, should we wait until we see the cards, or should we blow the cards to find where it is, or do we not have time for either of those things? Now, all of these things would be more of an issue if the game were challenging, but so far it's not. But I can imagine at a higher player count, there's like, okay, we've got the Europe, but we need this Europe card to do whatever we need to do.
Yes.
And we can take the chance,
I don't know. I guess maybe the other one feels more life and death, so it's more serious to me.
It is. It is a more serious game. It is a somber game that takes itself seriously.
Maybe...
Oh, I know. I remember what the other thing is. Here's the other thing that makes me know this game does not take itself very seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that, you can give yourself an eye patch. Or you can have a pipe. Or you can use Love Not War sunglasses. Or you can give yourself mutton chops. This, you can make a very silly looking person.
I have.
And Jen has made herself a very silly looking person. So, yeah, the game, like I said, is kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah, so I guess that's what I'm reacting to as far as a lighter game.
Yeah.
So, that would be my thought, this is definitely... I think.
You mean a lighthearted game?
Well, yeah, and just a little bit more fun. The
Yeah.
pandemic.
It's lighthearted.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's a good reason to do it. Thematically, that would be a way to decide. Do you want something more lighthearted or more serious? You know.
Yeah.
Or you could choose to take this as a very serious subject too. But again, it's kind of hard to take this seriously when you can wear an eye patch and mutton chops and a pipe while you walk around with a bow tie. And, it's, yeah. Alrighty. Gameplay-wise, I would say Season 1 is the easier game to play. This game is more but it's hard to say. We haven't played this very far. Certainly Pandemic Season 1 gets much more complex. It gets crazy complex. I suspect the same thing will be true here. So this starts a tiny bit more complex. All right. Scrolling right along.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's a real pain. What months are we currently in? We are about to play month 4, April. And how's the legacy aspect so far? We've really enjoyed it. We've enjoyed what we've seen so far. What are the only... I think you are the only one who continues to play your Season 1 game once you're finished. I know that's not true because if you go to Board Game Geek, go to Pandemic Legacy Season 1, go to the variants section of the forum, you will see I am one of many, many people proposing different ways to continue playing Pandemic Legacy Season 1. I am not alone. And I know for a fact that several people have thanked me and said, yeah, we went and tried it. It was awesome. We are so glad we didn't throw it away or burn it in a funeral pyre or make it into a wall diorama because our custom pandemic board is very cool and unique to us and it's a challenging thing to play on. So you can play regular pandemic and increase your difficulty by putting more epidemic or outbreak cards in the deck, or you can increase the difficulty by playing on your customized board instead of the regular board. Why throw away a customized board that makes the game more challenging? It's insane to me. Alrighty. Russia claims to have a vaccine. That's more real life stuff.
Yeah.
I would not take their. I'm very pro vaccine, but I don't know that I'm pro a Russia vaccine at this point.
You're not signing up for that.
Not signing up.
We're not flying to Russia and presenting.
I seriously thought about, signing. There are people who are volunteering to. Okay, look, I will. You can test the real vaccine on me. And there's like several stories of young people who are doing that to try and get back. I'd like to do that, and if we weren't living with my mom, maybe I would. And Jen says, no, you wouldn't. Okay.
No. I think there's lots of people who actually are sick who need the vaccine.
Well, no. I'm not taking the vaccine. I'm saying that I would volunteer for them. You volunteer, you purposely get infected. They literally give you it, so you get it, and then they give you the vaccine to test if it works.
There are so many people that already have it. Just give them the vaccine. Why would they infect an
because that's not the way
person?
Because that's not the way scientific studies work. They need to have all different kinds of control groups and stuff like that.
Well, no.
Right. Let's see. I imagine you can volunteer if you already have it. I don't know. They didn't say it. And wow, we're caught up. We are kibbity caught up. Does anybody remember the video game franchise No One Lives Forever? Yes, I do. And it was awesome, starring super spy Kate Archer, I believe. Oh, my favorite spy of all time is Archer, the TV series. Especially, I'm so happy now that after whatever's been 3 or 4 seasons, they're finally getting back to spycraft. So that's very, very cool. They don't infect you, and then give you the vaccine. Plus, that is not how vaccines work. Kabuki Kid, all I can say is what I saw. I literally saw a video of volunteers being given something that purposely infected them. And I'm sorry. Oh, you're sick. Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry. You're right. I had that out of order. They take the vaccine first, of course, and then they purposely infect themselves. So yes, I had that backwards. Correct. Very embarrassed. I did know better. I just wasn't thinking about it. But anyway, did you try an 18XX game? No, Jonathan, I did not, nor will I. I'm sorry. And actually, that's not true. We have played an 18XX game. I can't remember the name of it, but it's not Olympus or Olympus, but it's some kind of Olympian type thing. It was an attempt by 18XX developers to make a more palatable game that instead of being 19th century rail barons, we were era of antiquities. We were making routes out of shipping lanes in the Mediterranean, and Jen and I did play that game a long time ago, and we did not like it. Didn't even finish it. So I can't remember the name of it, but I have played an 18x game, and it wasn't for us. The leg is almost fully, actually the leg was doing really well, but then I spent too much time at Costco the other day while Jen was getting her hair done, wearing a mask the entire time, and then when I got home, I had to put the brace back on. But today it seems fine. So I need to baby it a bit more, but I'm mostly fine. I'm 90% fine. Do you plan to review this game? Yes, definitely. We'll do a final thought, or I'll do a final thoughts once we've actually played all the way through. Right. Right. Thank you, by the way, for correcting me, Carol. I did not want to disseminate just bass-ackwards information like that. I'm genuinely embarrassed. Right. Okay, I think we are caught up, Honey Pie. Jess did not convince me. Because, I mean, I thought about it, but thinking about it prompted me to remember we have played one. If anybody knows the name of it, put it in the chat. Because I cannot think of it. But it was Era of Antiquities. It's not Olympus or Olympos, but it's something like that. And it's a full-on 18xx game with boats instead of train lines. And you're just putting boats down to represent the shipping lanes. And you still have commodities, or stock investments in the different, because you invest in countries, I think, instead of in companies, and all the rest of it. It's not Duck Dealer. It's not that one. That's a sci-fi kind of silly one. Man, I can't remember the name of it. It's driving me nuts. But yeah, we are out of here. We are outsy. We're gonna go take a break, and I don't know. We're gonna play April.
Yeah.
All right. Well then, folks. All right. Oh, no, Marlon got a question in. Is there a trilogy? Is the trilogy really enough for Pandemic Legacy? Is the story concluded now? I would say
they can keep going.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Pandemic Legacy Season 2, when you finish that, I think everybody who finished Season 2 are wondering, what is Season 3 going to be? Where are they going to go from here? What could they possibly do?
Well,
and the answer was, prequel!
Yep, and then there's the Spanish flu, there's the bubonic plague.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess
we could just...
They could, but no, I mean, I think the story... I'm assuming the story will be done. They've repeatedly said that it's a trilogy and they'll be done. Finally, the AC turns on, I feel now, by the way.
I'm freezing
finally
at the moment. We definitely cooled down.
Irony. All right, so we are out here, folks. I got to find the button and push the button before you... Oh, you got another question in. What do you think of Seven Wonders getting a 2-player variant? You know what? I'm actually going to talk about that in the next podcast. I saw somebody, maybe it was you, JJ, ask that for a podcast. And so I'll talk about it there. I will say, terrible, very disappointed. Shame. Shame! They need to ring the shame bell, I think. Alrighty, I'm closing this. No, I'm going to minimize it. And if no more questions come in by the time I find the red button... Here we go. I'm getting to the red button. I'm almost there.
Oh, something happened.
I'm almost there. Almost there. Stay on target. Bye.